It's somewhere on the computer. All right, we are live. We are here. We are going to talk Fantastic Four and probably other things as well. I know Markeem's going to be going to Evo in what 4 days, 3 days.
Well, I leave Thursday morning. So
You leave Thursday morning. So
technically, Thursday morning, past 12 o'clock on Wednesday, so Thursday morning.
Early on.
Yeah,
like
3 in the morning to be exact. Like a little bit before 3 in the morning. 2:55 to be exact.
So what are you gonna do the first day? Just get there and not do anything, or
I'm gonna get there. The plan is sleep as soon as I land, and then after that, one of my best friends should be getting there shortly after. So we'll probably just gamble a bit, maybe play some casuals, and then because Thursday is when you do badge pickup, but that's later in the day. So we got to kill time. Then hopefully that line isn't too long for badge pickup and checking in and everything like that. And then after that, I don't know, just gonna play it by ear, but probably just play games, to be honest. Probably just
that's why you go, right?
Yep.
All right, so we talk about this movie.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about the most important MCU movie of the past 5 years?
I would say since Endgame, and then before that, I would say Homecoming. I think was the one before that.
Yeah,
I think they had to get that. So I have a lot to say about this movie because
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I loved this movie to an extent that I have not this might be my favorite, not just MCU movie. This might be my favorite Marvel movie ever. I'll have to wait a couple months and watch it again and see. But it's
your favorite Marvel movie?
Yeah, and
man,
it's up there. Like I was watching this thing just like awestruck at what I was seeing. Like this was probably the almost perfect Fantastic Four movie. I was just like, there was like everything that was in there was just like every probably 5 minutes you were getting something that you probably didn't think you were going to get. And they packed a lot in there. You said on the Discord, they got Galactus almost perfect. Like that was.
I don't think the only thing they did was kind of nerf his powers a bit because you got to for a film, but other than that, his motivations, the gravitas of him, his whole plan to pretty much stop his own personal suffering, all that stuff. That's Galactus. Like people think he's just evil guy that feeds on planets. Like, nah, the story is that with the power he inherited, he can never be satiated. So he's like, the only reason he can't die is because he can't stop eating. So the whole reason why he wanted to transfer his power to Franklin is so he can die. Right. See, I love that they did. I thought they would just turn him.
So this will have a lot of spoilers, but I'm wondering because they didn't kill him. They just sent him away.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we get the Earth X thing at some point where he shows up.
Maybe.
Where he shows up again and he takes off that helmet and somehow
you might be right.
And we're like, oh, that's something. That's different.
You might be right. You might be onto something. You might
because I mean they did a lot of stuff I didn't think they were going to do in this movie. I think when they first started talking about the movie and we kind of were like, I wonder what are they and you could see that they were at least maybe leading up to Franklin and we were like, all right, this is what, and then that's not what this is. This is full on. They're having to deal with Franklin. Which is insane to me. And you didn't see, like, I kept waiting for them to show just how powerful he really is, and you didn't really see that. You just saw like kind of a glimpse of it. Like I literally was waiting for them to do the scene where he's sitting there and he's like creating universes without like thinking about it.
You're jumping ahead, Josh.
I know, but I'm just like, I was just so that you can get the idea of like, because in the comics they set it up like right away that, you know, Professor X has got to put a million mind blocks on him and all sorts of stuff. And then of course they bring in Leech to be his friend, to manipulate him, to keep his powers kind of at bay. I mean, it's that kind of thing. But I love that. I loved the fact that they upped all of their powers just a little bit, I felt. Because, and you got
definitely Invisible Woman, 100%. Definitely, 100%.
Yeah, like, well, you got to see how powerful she really
because truly she's the strongest of all four of them. But
right,
you know, we usually don't, like, you just read comics, they usually don't really lean into that. But
she is the most. She is the of the four. She's the most. I liked all of that. I thought they did a really good job with Reed Richards in explaining like kind of who Reed
they
is.
Went Jonathan Hickman. I was like, which route are they gonna go? They went Hickman. I love it.
I've seen a lot of people complain that you didn't really get to see like how smart he really is compared to like everybody else, right? But I'm thinking you get that in the Avengers movie. And the Avengers movie.
Yeah. Because his whole thing is that if he just keeps thinking, it's dangerous for everybody. And he said that in the movie. I was like, that's John Hickman's thing. I was like, they love Fantastic Four. I was so surprised, man. I didn't expect that.
I don't know who all wrote this, because you know they give the writing credits, but there's usually more writers than get the.
Of course.
These were a bunch of these people either read a whole lot of Fantastic Four, or there were some Fantastic Four geeks in that room, because there was shit that was just like.
It's funny. Hickman said he was like consulted. They called him and they asked him for stuff. So we know him for sure. We don't know who else though, because usually the creators will kind of come out and be like, "Yeah, they called me and asked me some stuff," and he was like, "Yeah, I was on the phone with Shankman for like 3 hours," as we said. So we know him for sure. We don't know who else though, but they love whoever. Like they love Fantastic Four. Like
Chase brought this up that this is a very different like Marvel universe movie, because it's a world in and of itself, and it's a very Fantastic Four, especially the classic Fantastic Four. And you know, you said this like before you saw it. We said this even long before, that there's a way to tell Fantastic Four stories. They did it here. Like this was high sci-fi, a little bit of pulp, and a lot of like adventure with the family element. And like they went in on the family element too. So
because there's only two ways you can do it: exploration, kind of Star Trekky, or you have to make it so Reed focused that it's so heady and you know what I mean, all this. It's one or two, and they chose the first way. Maybe the sequels will be the second way. You know what I mean? But that's what they did for the first one.
Right. And like I just thought they did everything. Like I can't. If I were to really, really nitpick it, right? Like really, really, maybe you can complain that Johnny wasn't Johnny in a lot of ways, but I think that's just overly nitpicking.
Oh, I disagree with that. I felt like that until, without question, like when things looked dire, he was like, "Tell Franklin that his."
But that is him. But
I was right with him. I was like, Johnny Storm.
But the whole point of him is
hesitate, man.
But before that, he didn't feel jerky enough. Before that, he just felt like, but it wasn't bad.
Annoying, but not really. Yeah, true.
Yeah,
true.
It was. You know, it wasn't like, because Johnny is supposed to be kind of a jerk, and Johnny's supposed to be, but at the end, he is that guy. He's the, you know. So
especially when he came up with the plan to like kind of get Silver Surfer to back down.
Right.
I was like, that's something Johnny Storm would do, 100%.
Right.
You know, kind of fuck with people. That's what he does. Fuck with. I love Johnny Storm. He's my favorite of the four. He fucks with people. That's his thing. So.
Right. So
the thing that I like the most, though, like you said, he packed so much in it, right? I liked the beginning of the movie where they were pretty much they took down these people and they've been doing this. Like they brought up. Did you catch all the names? Puppet Master, Diablo. Who else was it?
They brought up and then
Red Ghost
halfway, and then halfway through they did it again, and it was like, oh, just in case you missed it the first time, we're gonna start naming people off again.
That was awesome, man. That was awesome. I was like, oh, they all exist. They all exist in this world. They did
a really good job of like explaining Mole Man, explaining like kind of all of that. You didn't have Namor. Like that. It's probably the only really big.
I can't wait until he meets Sue Storm. I cannot wait for that shit. When Namor meets Sue Storm, I cannot wait for that, man. I tell you. And did you catch when they were at the UN, the barrier chair? Did you catch the leopard?
Yeah. I was like, oh, and it's and see, I thought
so they got some sort of relationship. We know that. They got
I was waiting because I thought that when they were doing everything's around the world, that is where things were going to go wrong. Like all of a sudden it was going to be like, oh no, it's it's Latvia. That is that's the problem. It's not, that's what I was like.
When it was like, we need everyone to cut off their lights and stuff, and then it's Latveria, like we're not doing that shit.
We're not doing that. No.
But they didn't do that. They didn't do that.
Right.
But he's smart though. He knows. He was like, you know what? Fine, let him have this. I want to beat him. It has to be a world for me to beat.
It's that Dr. Doom, we don't even know. We don't even because he just showed up at the end. We don't know if any of them know anything about each other. We don't know any of that. So.
I think it's evident they got some sort of relationship though.
I mean, they teased it. They teased it
because you saw that chair was empty, and then he was just in the Baxter building. Like for as advanced as Dr. Doom is, he can't just pop up there. No one can just pop up. I feel like at some point they were friends or something. Like when they intentionally talked about their origin. This is just my theory. They left out Doom because I think Doom was up there with all of them, and they don't tell that part of the story because he turns out to be crazy dictator man. That's what I think. I think the movie was like kind of telling us that without telling us that.
And that's that.
Yeah. Man.
But it was I literally was watching it and I was thinking, this is as close to a Marvel movie has ever gotten to like the original Superman as far as like capturing a moment that we don't think about from like a comic book character's perspective. Right, because the original Superman movie is like the original Superman movie is really like golden and silver age Superman. I mean, that's what that is. And this really was like 50s, 60s, kind of 70s, and it was meant to be Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
kind of in that way.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I give you that.
Right,
and even down to them naming the Earth.
Right,
I didn't catch it. I felt so stupid.
I didn't catch it either. I was like, I'm sitting there, and then they did it, and I was like, oh,
I should have fucking caught that.
They named it after Jack Kirby. That is some stuff. Did you see? Because I've talked to people about this, and they didn't catch it when you had like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby doing the Fantastic Four comic in the studio.
Yeah, I saw that. I caught it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's good. So
that was man. The other thing that I liked, if I had one nitpick, it was why didn't they just use Norrin Rad? Why just use Norrin Rad? Like why didn't I like what's her name? I can't remember her name now. I like her in the comics, but her whole thing that makes her really interesting is that she is the second person from Zenla that Galactus took, because the whole thing is that Norrin Rad, as you know, just like she did in the movie, he turns on Galactus because Galactus is, it's fucked up. You're going around just eating people's planets. So to fuck with him, he goes back to Zenla and he takes someone else. And he's like, hey, this is my new. That's what makes her interesting. When you take that away, it's not as interesting. Do
you think maybe the Silver Surfer in the center DC universe or Marvel universe?
Oh, and the main one is
do you think maybe is Nor and maybe they didn't show it, but maybe it is kind of like it is in the comics where they know each other and there's like that whole thing, and it's like what, and you get that part of it, and she's the one that's like, no, you can't keep doing this.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I could see maybe that being a thing. So
The other weird thing that I thought was kind of funny, the people, and I know comic book movies you kind of got to ignore it, but when I find out that they could have just gave this baby up and we would have been all right, nah. Like, no, I'm sorry. I don't care what suit store got to say to me. Nah, man. No. Hey,
but,
and then the other thing is like Reed. That was the one thing that like bothered me a bit because like Reed Richards, like comic book Reed Richards, wouldn't even have told these people. He wouldn't have told them people. They would have never known that. Like Reed Richards, part of the Illuminati, would have never told them that. that bothered me a bit. I was like, oh, that's not really.
But to be fair, it wasn't that Reed Richards either. It was kind of more of like kind of old school Reed Richards. That's not like that dark. You got elements of it, but it wasn't. He was still, hey, I'm trying to.
You know what? You're right, because Illuminati Reed is after he's gone through shit. True.
Right.
True. And this guy Galactus is really the first thing they've gone through. So
and the first like it was the first loss they had. It was the first like when they're like we didn't beat them. We didn't beat him. Everyone's like, well, what? Wait, what?
What does that mean?
What? Yeah. What do you mean you didn't? You know, you guys don't lose. What's going on? And I also did. What did you like the fact that like you said you didn't get like classic Galactus like flying through the universe. You kind of got a little bit of the Warren Ellis Galactus.
That's what I was thinking too. It like the arc of the movie is the coming of Galactus, but the Galactus that they took is like Warren Ellis's ultimate Galactus and like put him in that story, which probably the best way to do it, because you couldn't use that one in the coming of Galactus because again, just way too powerful, just way too powerful.
And it's kind of in a movie it would come off really goofy to have this guy just show up, this like seeing him like floating through space, going to wouldn't.
The ship straight from that run, straight from the Warren Ellis run, like the how he's hooked up to the cables and all that. I was like, this is straight from the Warren Ellis fucking. I was yelling out loud. This is from Warren Ellis. It's fucking amazing, man. I was like, this is crazy.
Which is funny because that's really like the two on-screen versions of Galactus we've gotten that's what we've gotten. True. And it's weird because comic book fans hated that version of Galactus. Like they were like, "What is this?"
No, they hate it. I love that. I love.
I kind of liked it too. I was like, "Oh, this is an updated scientific, like more of a sci-fi, not fantastical version of Galactus." I'm fine with this. But people were like, "No, that's not Galactus. Galactus isn't just like a thing." And I'm like, "Yeah, he kind of is. Just
he is a thing. That's the thing. He is a thing. He must exist. That like the power cosmic must exist. A being like Galactus must exist. He just happened to be the first person to get it, and nobody wants that shit. No one can handle that shit. You know what I mean? That's why he has all the.
I like also the fact that they said that he was from like before.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they were like, no, this looks like Reed's like, I think he's from like before this existed. So,
it was one of the first things in creation. It's kind of funny that like in Love and Thunder, they had eternity. And, we was like, oh, okay, they wasted that. But Galactus, they didn't waste none of that. They didn't waste none of that at all. All we need now is the living tribunal and the one above. We might get all that stuff in like Secret Wars, though. Who knows?
Right.
Man?
I mean, we might get. I mean, we'll see. I think the way they kind of went with, they kind of hinted with things with Franklin makes like I think we're gonna get a lot of that stuff because it was like I mean they were like he's a cosmic god, right? I mean they call it, and it was like we. And I also like the line where Galactus was like, no, he's hiding.
Yeah,
what
he's
he
hiding
is
that from you. Yeah,
He's hiding that from you, and it was like, oh,
we did test. He's normal. He's like, nah,
like,
the boy
nah.
is hiding that. Like, he don't want you to.
He doesn't want you to know, and it's like, okay, you know,
Man, and then Doom, because Doom, he probably was watching everything happen
right,
because that's who he is, and he was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I should go pay my old pals the Richards a visit. You know what I mean?
right.
Because boy, I can use you for what I need. That's what it
What
is. That's how we're gonna get what's called
Doomsday.
it Doomsday and Secret Wars, because it looks like
I
they're
mean,
just gonna adapt 2015.
I was waiting because I was like, okay, are they? Because end of Thunderbolts, of course, you get the ship, like shows up, gets the ship, and I was like, okay, are we gonna see like why they show up or not? And we really didn't. So
Nah.
so I'm guessing that'll be like we'll have to wait a while.
Probably the beginning of Doomsday, something will happen,
Right.
and then
it'll be
get some
right.
help. Right. This guy has our son.
So
our son is doing.
I have
all
a
this
question. If that's because it looks like they're having to cram a lot of stuff into Doomsday.
Yeah.
Do you think they? Because this is what I would do. Do you think they wait, and the X-Men don't show up until the very, very end?
I don't know, because I know they're in the movie. They're
Right.
in the movie. I don't know. They'll have to go to their universe and get them, though. That's the thing. You know what I mean? So you might be right.
Or they like maybe they're kind of watching because what's her name is already there, and like they're like, oh, we're trying to get her back, and then they all like at the very end show up, like when things are like really bad.
Perhaps. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Be,
this all would have been easier if Kang would have worked, though. I would die on that hill. I would die on that hill. Instead of rushing to do this, if Kang would have just worked, wouldn't be going through this.
Right.
It's annoying, Josh. It's annoying.
I know. So what were your overall thoughts
on the movie?
Yeah.
I don't think I liked it as much as you did.
I liked it a lot. Like, I was shocked. I was like, all right, I really like this, and I kind of feel like I'm gonna be like like the outlier on this, because I was watching it going, oh, I really, really like this. This is like this is like what I want a comic book movie to be. So,
but then again, you got to remember, like, I don't know if y'all noticed about me and Josh, but Josh likes the Fantastic Four way more than myself,
and I don't like them a lot. I just like
you like them a lot. Josh. You like them enough.
I like them enough. Like, I've never been a big fan of the comics. I like the characters, and I like what the characters represent as far as like within Marvel, because really they are like they were the start, and a lot like people go, oh, but Namor and Captain America and the original.
That doesn't count.
I was like, that shit does not count. That was what we think of the Marvel universe.
It starts with the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man and Thor. Fantastic Four, Spider-Man and Thor. Mainly Fantastic Four, to be honest,
because that's where it starts, and then that's and the company built from that, just because they were like, hey, let's make 4 characters who are all like elemental characters, and just went from there. And so in that sense, yes, because I've never been like, I can only name like a couple of runs of Fantastic Four that I really like Hickman's. Don't
you forget it. Don't you forget
what,
it.
Miller's?
No. Well, I mean, that was fine, but no.
I can't think of this.
Come on. I'm gonna let you figure it
Mars's.
out. Mars's.
Not Mars's.
Okay, that's one of the ones, but it's one more. One more you're forgetting.
Which one am I forgetting?
Mark Waid. What are we doing?
Oh, Mark Waid. That's who I was trying to think of. Mark Waid. Yeah. Like those are probably the ones, because like I liked the idea of the Fantastic Four, but not like the fan. Like, I was never a big Avengers, like especially in the 80s and 90s. I was never a big Avengers fan.
And I'm the opposite, because I was like,
I was never a big Avengers fan. And that was probably because like the first team books I read were X-Men and Teen Titans.
Draven brought up John Byrne too. Yep, John Byrne. That's another good run too.
Yeah,
forgot about him.
Yeah, I mean, Byrne. He probably does not get enough credit for his Marvel stuff because people are so like
people just think it's Superman. Yeah, true.
Of Superman or like I would tell people go read his She-Hulk and see how good superhero like that She-Hulk was years before modern Deadpool, because Deadpool as he is today isn't what Deadpool was.
Her books are always better than his anyway. Oh, she's better in every way. It's not like it's like my Natasha. Yelena is better in every way. She-Hulk is better than Deadpool in every way. Like in every sense of the word, a better standalone character, better on a team, funnier, just better in every single way. Just if I feel like, and this is a hill I would die on. If She-Hulk came out a year before the first Deadpool movie, people would like that show.
No, I agree.
People would like that show.
I agree.
It's that simple because she does it better. She does like look.
Or I would, you know what? I
think that show is great.
If She-Hulk came out before the second Deadpool movie,
yes,
I think people would still. I think
people would still like that show. And I'm not saying that show is great because I don't think it's great.
No,
but it essentially does the same thing as those movies y'all praise. Just stupid, goofy comedy. It's the same shit, man. Just because he's cussing and he got some guns, it's the same shit.
Right.
That dude, I know it's turning into Deadpool rant. That dude that character gets away with so much shit that people complain about other characters doing. It's so weird to me. I don't know why, Josh. Do you know why, Josh?
I don't know. I think people just. I think what was the first run where he was like a comedy character? Because I think that's the. But the thing is he was
in 05 when they just turned him into like
because I mean people don't realize like before that he was he was
just a spoof of Wade Wilson. I mean of Slade Wilson.
Yeah, that's what he was.
Spoof of Deathstroke.
Yes,
he was an incompetent version of Deathstroke. That's what he was.
Right. Who talked like Spider-Man. That was the whole like that was his shtick, is that he was like Spider-Man and that he talked fast, made jokes. Like that was part of it, but it was like Spider-Man. It wasn't like let's be silly, but yeah, no.
The whole break the fourth wall stuff and just be over the top, like that came in the mid 2000s. He was a totally different character like a whole decade before that. But a lot of people don't know that.
I'm just saying that like I don't get it. I don't like because especially Byrne's She-Hulk is excellent. It's funny. It does a lot of the same things. He's really has never done anything like that since, because even if you go back and like look at his Dark Horse stuff, and I think people thought that's what Babe was gonna be, but that's not what Babe is. Babe is not. Babe isn't like there's at all. Like it starts off and you can tell he's expecting you to think that's what it is, and there's elements of it, and then it's like, oh no. Kind of like Next-Men. Everyone thought Next-Men was going to be very X-Men-like, and it turned out to be completely different.
I hated that shit.
like completely different. I liked it, but like I said, like the first teen books I was were like X-Men, New Mutants, Teen Titans, which is like that type of.
Oh, Josh just reading the dark stuff like right away.
Yeah, yeah. I was like,
I see why you didn't like Avengers. I see why.
like I read Avengers and I'm like, oh, this is like
these guys are too happy for me.
I mean, it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what? Like, there was times when I liked West Coast Avengers because that was a little bit.
Yeah, that's when you got the Iron Man in the love triangle with Ant-Man and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and you got Hawkeye, being a gambler and all that. Yeah, that's when it got dark. That's when it got
That's
when they were adults,
right? But like
Wonder Man and Scarlet Witch and all that stuff.
I'm like, what are we doing? But yeah, I was never like a big Avengers fan. So when like they did like a new Avengers, I saw what it was like right away. Was like, oh, they know that the Avengers need to be like a thing, and so they're gonna try to make it a thing. So,
boy, that went too long. Oh man.
Yeah, I know that needed to end like what, like maybe.
Oh, maybe Breakout came out what 2004, 2005, something like that. 2004.
Yeah, like
and then fucking Bendis was on that book all the way until like the mid 2010s, bro. Like, what are we doing? It was like, I think it was like 2012 was his last fucking,
and like
crazy.
The thing is like when that first incarnation of that team started to like dissolve, it was like, okay, I don't care about this anymore. like some of these characters are interesting, but I don't care about them being on this team because we're going back to the Avengers that I didn't like, which it felt like it was a bunch of B characters on a team.
Yeah.
And I know people hear that and they're like, what? I'm like,
Captain America that's right. Iron Man, Captain America's my favorite superhero. He was a B character. Iron Man might have been like a C or a D character, honestly.
Right. Like their books were just like there. Because it was like as soon as they gave Wolverine his own book, and really he had like two books at the time because there was Wolverine and there was Marvel Comics Presents, which featured Wolverine.
Wolverine all the time.
Yeah, and then you had Spider-Man was the other one. Those were like two, like they're in everything, and the Avengers were just kind of like, oh, the Avengers are guest starring in this, and it's like, okay, whatever,
Yeah, exactly, Draven. It seemed like for a while the Avengers was that book for characters whose own book wasn't selling that hot, 100%. That's exactly what it was. Look, I love Captain America, but there is a reason why they were so focused on making sure that he always was an Avenger. Not just because he was the leader, because he needed it. He needed it because nobody was buying a solo book except me. Nobody else. I didn't know anyone else that was reading that shit.
Because I mean, you got when you look at that like
run was going on, when everybody loved like the group, and it's good. Like I was the only one reading it that I knew of that read comics. So,
because think of that team. You've got Captain America, Iron Man, okay, Thor, okay. Then you got Wonder Man, like who is fine. Like you didn't have the Hulk. You had Wonder Man. You had Tigra, which is like okay, which is like even then it was like okay, you've just got this sexy character that's just here for no real reason. Scarlet Witch,
and he had Vision at the time, who
right,
nobody really gave a shit about.
Yeah,
at the time,
because no one had written him super well. I mean, it was let's do these characters and let's really not like get like Scarlet Witch wasn't like the Scarlet Witch we think of her now. She was just like, oh, kind of magic, kind of can do some things, not. She can break reality.
Yeah, I talked a lot of shit, but like Brian Michael Bendis is why we kind of look at her.
Like,
I just got there talking all that shit, but yeah, it's true.
It's like, oh, by the way, she does have a really powerful power, and she knows magic on top of it, so she can do like really weird stuff. So, yeah, Black Knight, Cersei.
Black Knight and Cersei.
I like Black Knight, but
I love Black Knight, but come on, man. Let's be for real here.
Right. And it was like that was, and the other part of like the other flip of that was, in DC pretty much there was always at least one or two big characters in Justice League or whatever version of Justice League they had at the time. So I was always like, if you were talking like if those books, I always thought Justice League was just a little better because of that. Because Superman was almost always in it. Batman was almost always in it. Maybe not together, but they were almost always in it. Wonder Woman was almost.
And then a lot of times Justice League would legitimately help those characters' books sell. Like Avengers would in theory, but it never happened. Like the Justice League, like Wonder Woman would benefit from Justice League the Flash would benefit from, you know what I mean? But that doesn't happen with the Avengers at all. Hardly ever.
Right.
Honestly.
You know,
I don't know why. Because it's not the real flagship book at Marvel. That's X-Men.
Right.
But
yeah. I mean, but
it's not the actual flagship book.
It's not the flagship team book. It's not the flag, you know. Well, they all own it now, so maybe it'll start. Maybe X-Men will go back to being, you know, good again. Maybe.
I mean, it is good, man. Since Krakoa, it's been good.
So,
have you been reading the new stuff?
I read the Kirkman stuff, and then I haven't read anything past that.
It's been solid. I mean, it hadn't been that, but it's been.
I mean, that was like, I'm reading that going, whoa, this is.
I mean, it hasn't been that good, but
this is like, you start reading that and you're like, wow, this is like, this is, you can tell this is going to be like really, really good.
The X-Men needed that too, because man,
like you know,
before him,
I
like,
hated.
I
hated, in hindsight, I really, really, really hated New X-Men. I hated Morrison's run on X-Men. And I get people are like, oh my god, how can you hate that? I'm like, because while the run itself,
okay, John, did you? That's what I'm saying. Did you hate it, or did you hate what it meant? Like, did you hate it, or did you hate what it meant?
Okay, so probably about halfway through, I started really not liking it. Because I felt like he was being overly weird with stuff.
There was still good stuff in that, though.
I'm not saying there wasn't good stuff. I'm just saying there was I just was like, about it. I like that last little story arc. I love
awesome.
that. Yeah, awesome. That's excellent stuff. My biggest complaint with it, and I think this was a thing, because while I was reading it, I was thinking this, like, while I was when I got to a point where I started reading it, and I'm like, okay, what is this? What the X-Men is going to be going forward? And if this is what it's going to be, I don't like this.
Well, I got news for you, buddy. I got news for you, John, from the year 2002. Got news for you, buddy.
I was like, I don't like this. And then I was like, okay, if somebody comes along after him and tries to do this, it's not going to work. And it didn't work. Like it took, you know, I mean, I know we're not supposed to talk about Josh Whedon, but it took him going, I can't do this. I'm going to a different reality altogether and doing my own thing.
That's true.
You know,
and then you know, it's funny, later on in Astonishing, they tried to like rope that shit back into the main.
Right.
It didn't work as well. Like when he left, they tried to rope it back in. Didn't work as well.
I mean, Claremont did what I think he could a lot. And, you know, because I think, oddly enough, I think that last run of his was actually a lot more, even more than Joss Whedon's. I think it was a lot more of like what the X-Men needed, even though it wasn't like super great, but it felt like it was more of what they needed.
I think the thing that people don't realize is that X-Men, it's okay to shake up the status quo, but certain things have to remain true to their struggle. So many people, they shake it up too much, they forget the whole spirit of X-Men in the first place. This is about racism, guys. This is about, and so many people just lose sight of that. It's about racism. It's a soap opera. It's everything is overly dramatic. And honestly, if it doesn't make some sense, that's okay sometimes. Like, honestly, this is
like I've seen people complain that, like to me, if you look at like Kitty Pryde's art since probably 2000, probably 99 to now, I know a lot of people complain about it, and I'm like, actually, hers makes maybe the most sense of like everybody's, because she lost Peter, right, and then she was devastated, and then she went and did her own thing. Wolverine was kind of like, I don't want you around anymore, so go do your own thing. Probably when she needed him the most, the only person she really had around her was Rachel. And you have that whole thing that people get weird about. And I'm like, actually, it kind of makes sense from Kitty's perspective.
Season 2 of X-Men 97, you'll know exactly what he's talking about.
You know, it's kind of like, you don't get but at the other side of it, I'm like, if you're going to complain about that, Rachel's the one that would be the one that you might complain about it with.
True.
But at the same time, they're both characters that basically lost the loves of their lives in a lot of ways. So there is that. Now, Peter ends up coming back and, all of that. But that whole love triangle thing, that's not really a love triangle. It's kind of like in the background of all of those characters works. And is like you said, it's like a thing within the X-Men. The Rogue and Gambit is a thing within the X-Men because it's at the heart of it, even though because of the way Gambit is, it doesn't come off this way. It's a tragic love story.
Yeah.
But because of Gambit and because of the way Gambit is, it never really comes off that way. So,
because the only way he can deal with it is acting like it's not that serious.
Right. It's like I don't care. And Rogue is like
his actions show you one thing, but what he says is something totally different. That's the whole point. But so many writers lose sight of that, Josh.
I know. It's like just be true to the characters. And if you want to add something to the X-Men, this is my biggest, and this just is an X-Men thing. This is a comic book thing. Don't change a character because you want to add something to a book. Truly add something to the book. Add a new character. Add a character that does what you want to do. Maybe it won't be a popular character. Too bad. But try to be at least honest with the characters that are already there.
Yeah.
Update them.
If a character is going to make a turn, it has to be a turn that makes sense for said character. Like if you want to do that, fine, but it can't be something that truly catches us out of nowhere with, a motivation that doesn't make any sense. Like, I hate to be an ass, but Bobby Drake coming out as gay was weird. It's not that he's gay. It's not that he's gay. It's that whole him dating anybody was never a big part of his character in the first place. Like that, just in general, like him dating anyone was never a big part of his character. It just seemed like this is just something to tack on here. Tim Drake being outed as I won't say outed, but coming out as bisexual, that works. That makes sense because this is a guy who doesn't know how to talk to people in general. You know what I mean? That's the whole point. That I don't know how to share my feelings. So when he finally came out as bisexual, it worked. Bobby's, we've seen him he's a likable dude. He socializes, all that stuff. Like he's dated women, he's had breakups and things like that. Why would 40 plus years of this history of this character would he just go, "Hey, I'm gay"? Well, they didn't do it like that, but hey, Bobby, we know you're gay, but we see him date women. It was weird.
Right.
It was weird.
It
was weird.
Like I said,
the way they did it with Tim, that's how you do it.
They
did it with Bobby. No,
that is. I know he just passed away, but that's probably my biggest problem with Peter David. Is Peter David doing that shit?
Hold up.
I know. I'm just saying he liked doing that.
That's my guy.
A little too much. I know, but he liked doing that a little too much. Where he would be like, "Oh, I'm gonna change this character because I want to tell this story," and I was always like, "Dude, just add a fucking character that
you say that, but you don't get Joe Fixit if you don't do that."
But Joe Fixit isn't who I'm talking about.
I'm just saying in general, though.
I know
you say that,
but that's different. Like the going into maybe there's different versions of the Hulk. That's kind of different because was like, hey, the original Hulk is not a Hulk that we've ever seen again. Like that was one of his things.
That's true.
That hey, the miscoloring, yeah, it was a miscoloring, but let's make it an actual thing.
Let's make it canon. Yeah, that's good.
Let's make it canon where this Hulk, who all of the other like the smart Hulks all go, no, that's the most powerful version of me. He just never showed up again. Is the purple version. That the green version isn't really the most powerful version of me. Is
They did that in what was it? The Ewan run. They bought that Hulk back for a little bit. And what was it? The horror Hulk. I can't remember what it's called, but God damn it. Is it Indestructible Hulk? Is that what it's called? I think so.
I think that's
yeah. They did that for a bit in that. I still need to read through that. We got so off topic. But Fantastic Four. Any other thoughts about Fantastic Four?
Like I said, it might be not even my favorite MCU. It might be my favorite Marvel movie, because Logan is probably the best Marvel movie, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite, because it's not something that I would go out and like watch. Like,
I've only seen it like 3 times, man. I really like that movie, but my
oldest daughter, I think she's watched it twice. She can't watch it. Like, she like the end of that movie. Like, I'm sitting next to her in the movie theater, broke her. So because she was just like, I can't, because that's her husband. Like, she'll tell even her current boyfriend, she's like, just so you know, this is my husband.
that not Hugh Jackman, that Wolverine. That's my
Hugh Jackman. It's pretty much Hugh Jackman. Okay, but it's Wolverine. I mean, she means Wolverine, but Hugh Jackman is like, that's my husband. So that like broke her when, like, she was so excited when she found out he was coming back for Deadpool. Like, she was like generally like, oh, good.
Well, I know she probably loved that.
She was a huge fan of that. She was like, she didn't like the original costume though. She wasn't a fan. She did like, so she explained it to me, because I was like, what? And she liked it until he put on the little.
She didn't like the mask.
Yeah, she didn't like the mask. I was like, okay, I can get that. The mask did look a little weird.
That's okay. That's all right. That's all right.
I was like, we waited to see this. We
waited. Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be, but this is what we waited on.
So yeah. But my favorite up until now would have been Days of Future Past. That, without a question, my favorite, because I felt like that was encapsulated not just like everything that had come before with the X-Men movies, but also a lot of like what the X-Men really are.
Of course. Yeah. That's a good. I mean, you know, my favorite. I don't have to tell y'all. Like, y'all know. Come on, but I can see how this will be. I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it. Especially when it captures so much of that era of comic books that, like, if you got into comics around that era, like, it could.
Well, like, I didn't like so you know, I got into comics in like the early '80s. But when I would go, get, like,
close
back
to it, though. Not that far.
When I would go get like back issues, that's the stuff I was getting.
Stuff,
I was, you know, because it wasn't like the stuff, like, not everything from the '60s was super expensive. It might have been like $4 or $5, but it wasn't like that you would end up getting. And that's also when they first really started doing, like, so they did. What was it? Spider-Man. What is it? Spider-Man Presents. What was the name of that comic? I can't. They did a comic that was basically just old, Amazing Spider-Man from like the '60s. They did a comic that were just with all it was reprints, and then they started doing like the actual, like, the master editions. That's when they first started doing like those. So you got like the collections. And that was the first time you got like those hardback collections of a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, the Kirby and Lee Masterwork Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Masterwork. Yeah. The Fantastic Four, X-Men, like they did everything so that people could go back and actually read that stuff. And so, like, it was a lot of that stuff that I read, and like a lot of it's like excellent. Like, I can remember the first time I read The Death of the Green Goblin and The Death of Gwen Stacy. I still think that works. I still think that's like top-notch comic book stuff.
Broke, don't fix it, man. I feel like every version of Spider-Man we see, whether it be Tom Holland, fucking Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, whoever replaces Tom Holland, whoever,
right?
Miles Morales, every version of Spider-Man should have his Death of Gwen Stacy, even if it's not necessarily Gwen Stacy,
right?
Something like that.
Well, that's what Spider-Man that's like one of the key things of Spider-Man, you know, in the Spider-Verse. Like they go into that oh no, you have to have something tragic.
Yeah, you need this to be Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
You need this.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to have this. And Miles being like, what? What are you talking about?
Well, brother, I'm sorry,
Right?
brother.
Like they kind of go into it in the second Spider-Verse movie, but they don't, like, in the comics, they explain, because like main universe Peter is overly protective of Gwen, and she gets so mad about it, and then he has to explain to her why he's like that, and she's like, oh, okay.
Hey, you been reading the Miles Morales stuff though? Because that
No.
there's this thing where like there's this prophecy that like that's gonna happen to him too. And then like he's dating this girl and he's like super nervous. His spider sense will go off, and it could be like a ladder falling or something. I was like, this is awesome.
But see, that's
so when this girl dies, man, it's yeah.
But that's so. How do they explain that with like the original Ultimate Spider-Man then? Because he never had that happen. He just had Uncle Ben. He never had the other.
Well, you got it. You got to remember everything's been reset.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that
when you say Ultimate Spider-Man now, it's a totally different guy.
I know. I'm wondering.
It's a guy with children.
I know. It's what we should have been having for the last 15 years. Yeah. 15 years probably. But no, he I would like it to them to be like, that's why he died. Oh, because he didn't have that. So then he had to die because of that.
I mean, maybe. Who knows? Maybe it might be coming. Who knows? Like the Peter you had,
right? Yeah, like you can't. But no, that's like you said. I think that's one of the like I thought this movie was excellent. I thought everyone in it did a really good job.
Yeah, man, I was worried about Pedro Pascal. I'm not gonna lie, because he's such a likable dude. And Reed Richards is not supposed to be likable, and he's not. I don't think he's likable at all in this.
He's understandable, I think.
Yeah, but he's not likable though.
No, he's literally like what you would think, socially awkward, overthinks everything.
Sue had the best line. She was like, "You being you hurts me," and I was like, "These people." No Fantastic Four, because essentially that's their whole relationship. That's why during Civil War they both chose opposite sides, shit like that. Yeah, man.
It's like it's crazy stuff. Like it gives me hope that we're now back on the right path after they went. I don't know. I don't know who told them to go down the path they went with after Endgame, but that was...
You mean just inundate us with content?
Not just content, but just pick the wrong people to focus on. It's like, what are we doing?
I didn't necessarily mind the characters they chose. What bothered me is that you wanted this to be so tied into what came before, when now we're at a different spot in this, we shouldn't worry about so much about what came before. You need to have a plan going forward. Like a Shang-Chi movie, Shang-Chi. I've called him Shang my whole life. Yeah. I like that movie. Don't get me wrong, but like
that's probably the best. That's probably the best of the kind of what came after. I would say.
Man, I gotta think about it. You might be right, but like that should be more just an old school kung fu movie with some magic. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then like his struggle should be like the thing, like his. Like, even though they're like tied into like Iron Man 3 and stuff like that, that movie should feel and look so different from what came before. You want to do Miss Marvel, and I like Miss Marvel is probably my favorite of the shows, and I don't even like the character. But like, you want to do Miss Marvel, like look and feel different from what came before, and it did kind of. But like something like Moon Knight, which like it should be totally different from what came before. Like
it kind of was. And it kind of,
but not enough though. Not enough. Not enough, man.
But I think that like the thing I think with Miss Marvel, and I think this was the problem, was it was evident they were going to be like, because of why they wanted Captain Marvel to be the way Captain Marvel was, we're never going to mention Marvel. and I think that was a mistake.
That's annoying, bro. That is annoying. It's annoying.
Like I really thought that like at the start, either at the start of Infinity War or the start of, and I thought this even before the movies came out, Endgame, they needed to have a scene that was like back in the 50s, and it was Marvel being Captain Marvel on his ship, right? And they get a distress call. They could have even been from the Skrulls. Could have been like, hey, we need help. Thanos is attacking. And the be like the Kree are like, no, they're not protected under us. This is why, and you find out that one of the reasons why they do the things they do is because, hey, Thanos is a necessary evil because it makes people join us, because then they know we'll protect them from Thanos.
Oh man.
And he's like,
Josh.
I can't do it. And they take off and they go, and somehow maybe he's with Fox or something, and he gets the bands and he beats Thanos. And that's the whole thing, is he's the only person to ever beat Thanos. But to do it, he ends up basically killing himself, right? And it's like, you can't beat him. And he does, but Thanos doesn't die.
And then that's the easy way. You don't break Captain Marvel that way.
Right.
Because you could just say this new guy that had the title Marvel is just the person we gave this to because the other one was a traitor.
Right.
That's literally, my God, John. Oh my God damn it. God damn it, why didn't they do that, man?
Right. And then you could have even said what's her name, that was what's her name's dad. Like, you could have tied it all together and been that without ever having to use.
Excuse me, the new lady. I'm sorry, I forgot it was a lady that was. My bad.
Right, yeah, and be like, hey, that was her dad, and that's the whole reason why she was on Earth, and she was trying to help because she was trying to like finish her dad's legacy because of all of that, and we didn't get that, and I thought that would be a good way to get, because I get they don't want him showing up and then them being like, oh, by the way, here's this guy, and now he's going to be the other Captain Marvel, and everybody get mad because they're going to be like, oh, now you're bringing in a guy to do this.
True.
So,
true. Man.
Though I do kind of wish, there was a part of me that really did wish that somehow, if you were going to kill off Captain America, you brought in Captain Marvel and you kept him on Earth. And it was Marvel, and now he kind of takes over for Cap. I know, but I was just saying that would have been like, if they had.
They didn't even do that in the comics, right?
I know, but it's so clear that they weren't thinking past Endgame, really, because to me, and I understand they were like, this is the finish, we're not going to add any post-credit stuff. I think there needed to be something about the Fantastic Four in that movie, because we already knew that's what everything coming after was supposed to be leading to, and nothing did. And I think that was one of the big issues.
They had an easy out. They had like a storyline that could be a holding pattern until they thought of the next big bad. You know what my idea was? My idea was that just like the cartoon, just like Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, we find out that one of them the entire time has been a fucking Skrull. And then until we decide who's the next villain, we do this. Who can you trust? We don't, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to take over Earth and all this other. That's all you had to do, man. That's all you had to do. They would have did that, then we would have been fine until they came up with whatever they were coming up with. So then in every project, we're thinking to ourselves, holy shit, like this person could be a Skrull. Like how are they, you know what I'm saying? Who's a Skrull here? Who the fuck can we try? They fucked it up, man.
Right.
and then when you until you know who you like, whether you want to do Kane the Conqueror, Doctor Doom, whoever you want to do, at that point you have this story to kind of hold us over until you know what I mean, until you. That's all they had to do. Because the end credits of Endgame could have been pick one, doesn't matter, just pick a Avenger, and that one was a Skrull the entire time.
My idea was because they had, by the time Endgame came out, of course Disney owned everything. My idea was always, you get the scene, but it's with Scarlet Witch, and she just says, fix it, and it fixes everything, and you get some weird version of
House of M.
House of M.
I mean, nobody liked it though, Josh, except me and you.
but no, I got friends that liked it, but I mean, they didn't like.
It's not many though, man. It's
I
not
know
many of
because
us.
the people like, to me, you know what? When people say that, I really wonder if they would have liked. I really wonder if they would have liked what was the Age of Apocalypse when it came out. Yeah, I wonder because they'll say they like it now, but if you didn't like House of M, and House of M and Age of Apocalypse are very similar.
It's the same thing. It's the same fucking thing, man.
It is
alternate Earth where a bunch of characters that we love get a lot of things that they love, and really at the center of it is something that's not quite right, and they got to change it. Same thing. Right. Same exact thing, man.
Right. Like
so if you like Age of Apocalypse, I must ask, why don't you like House of? You're right. You gotta explain that to me because it's the exact same shit.
Right, because people will go, oh, that's like the one
of the best X-Men stories. Yeah.
And I'm like, have you ever actually read it? Because it's a lot like House of M. I said it's not exactly because it's an apocalypse. It's
apocalypse is the obviously
but Wolverine's with Jean, Scott's by himself.
I mean the difference is that the world does look like it's a terrible place in Age of Apocalypse, where everything is just different and it's just not quite right in House of M. It's not like the world is terrible, so I guess that's
because everyone got what they wanted. So and this world fit away. Like I will always say one of the best scenes in all of that is when they have to wake up Peter, because Peter finally got everything he wanted, and everything he wanted, Uncle Ben is still alive. He's married to Gwen Stacy. He has kids with Gwen Stacy, right? And then they have to wake him up and tell him, "Oh, this is a lie."
Yeah. Your uncle is dead. This woman is dead. You ain't got no kids.
You got no kids. And he's just like, what? What the? And they're like, oh, that was kind of terrible. That was kind of terrible to watch, because none of them really know any of that. So they're just like, what was that?
But you know what? You see Draven's comment. You're right, but that's a different argument. the story itself is very simple. But you're right. You are absolutely correct. But that is an entirely different argument. You're right.
Though. Right. Like, no, I House of M needed to end and then end. And we didn't need to get House of M is over, but some of the mutants now aren't mutants. And we didn't need all of that. That was different. But I mean, with Age of Apocalypse, we had Blink, we had Evil Beast, you had Nate X. I mean, and he played, a major thing. So
I wonder if the MCU is going to use someone like Nate X, and
that would be.
I wonder if Legion. I wonder if Legion's going to be in the MCU. I wonder.
That would be different. That would be. You know what? That would be a good after this, and then the X-Men are there, and then they figure out that somehow Legion is on the main MCU Earth, and they're like, oh, this isn't good, and they're like, what?
And bring back Dan Stevens. Let him just play Legion. Just let him play Legion.
Be like, oh, this isn't good. What do you mean he's not good? This is bad. This is bad. What is it bad? Yeah.
All right.
Mara Taggart can never have kids. That's just that's just how it is, because she has David and she has Proteus, and we don't.
That's hilarious.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not. Not at all. Oh, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about before we get up out of here. Whenever we get out of here, you've been keeping up with the shit they've been announcing at San Diego Comic-Con.
A little bit, not a lot, because most of what I've been seeing has just been so I am of this age. They're going to release a ton of new Robotech toys. So that's where my focus has been because I mean they're expensive as hell and I'll never be able to get them, but oh my god, they look so good. So yeah.
That was gonna be my thing. Not a whole lot of people are like releasing like any sort of
But
like not a whole lot of
but that started last year.
Yeah, like it's weird. Like even less, like not even that many like media companies out there. Like Marvel's not there.
I think
DC's
they
not there. It's kind of weird.
I think Disney figured out that them doing what is that D2 or D3 whatever that
D23.
Yeah, whatever that is better for them than going to Comic-Con.
We got that other trailer for Peacemaker though.
Right.
You see that? I hadn't seen it yet, but
I haven't seen it either. But I saw it dropped. But stuff like I think they figured that out, and I think just like E3 used to be, the thing, and that we don't get anymore. I think it's the same thing where companies were like, hey, we can do our own thing, and we don't have to share. We don't have to share the spotlight with anybody. So.
There's been nothing at all.
I mean, that's like literally
the Aztec Batman.
Yeah, I saw the Aztec Batman.
You see that?
I saw that. Did you see the trailer?
Yeah, I saw it. Hernando Cortez is Two-Face. What?
So when they're showing the conquistadors, right? There's the one, and I'm wondering if the one is Azrael. There's this one that's like in a cloak.
Yeah.
And he's got
it would make sense, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it make sense?
It would. I mean, that would make perfect sense for the kid. I mean, people would be like, but he's supposed to be a good guy, and it's like,
good guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Good guy.
Kind of, maybe, not really. Kind of just depends. It would make sense for him to be, I mean, he was raised by priests, taught to be an avenging angel of priests. Why wouldn't they send him off to,
Makes sense, though. They can even do it the same way. The Order of San Dumas sends you to fight with Hernando Cortez to liberate these people. Could be the same shit.
It made sense in I was like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I saw that. I did start watching Sandman.
I hadn't yet, man. I heard it's not as good as the first season.
It's not as good as the first season. They rush through a lot of stuff. I think because they were.
We knew that though. We knew that.
But I think they were like, okay, we know this has got to be the end for various reasons, and for various reasons. But it like the Once Upon a Midsummer Night's Dream, that episode, that's stuffed in the episode, so it's only like maybe 10 minutes with the story when all of the gods show up to get hell. That's where now they do that. Yeah, like 10 minutes. Maybe. It's not very long. It's not very long. Like, I'm like, this isn't getting its own episode. Like, this is not getting its own episode. This is like one of the.
But before they felt like they had more time, so they could do those little like standalone episodes. Like
yeah.
That.
But I mean, they do a good job for like doing the whole thing, like of them playing, of Shakespeare playing in front of all of the elves and all of that. They do a good job of it. It's just not very long, and it feels
that's
really rushed. Yeah,
that's like one of my favorite parts of Sandman.
Yeah, like now the gods and everyone showing up to get hell, pretty much spot on.
Okay.
Even with the Loki stuff and all of that, pretty much perfect. I was like, oh,
okay, all right.
You have
my attention again.
Yeah, like that's good. They go into why Lucifer gave up hell, like the real reason why Lucifer gave up hell, not just I'm gonna stick it to you, like the like the oh no, I'm sticking
Okay.
it to you, and I'm sticking it to you in a way you don't even realize I'm sticking it to you. So you got that. Trying to think of what else has been on there. Delirium is a little. She's written well. She's played well. The problem is the other endless don't react to her the right way.
What do you mean?
It's like, oh, little sister, we all love you, but you're crazy. Not they're all sad and they're all like even Desire.
Oh,
even Desires is not like Desire is like protective of her, but not like you don't get that sad melancholy that they all have about her.
Because the whole thing, they kind of feel like it's their fault a bit.
Right.
They don't do that in the show?
They don't. Not yet. Man. I think I've seen a scene where it shows them all how they used to be. So I'm wondering if they do that story, which that would kind of surprise me, and we get more of it then. But yeah, like Desire's protective of her, but not you don't get the melt. Like when she shows up, it's not all of them. Like they're all like, oh, kind of, but it's not where you get the sadness, and it's not the, they're not like almost babying her to the point that she gets annoyed about it. It's just like, oh, none of you think I know anything. Like they do that line, and I know more than maybe all of you because that's what my craziness does. It allows me to see stuff that you guys don't see. They kind of go into that, but there's not that real like sadness that they all have because they remember how she used to be. It's a lot more of, oh, she's a representation of humanity's current like craziness, not what was lost. Like there's none of that,
man.
which is so important to that whole like. But to be fair, I'm only like a couple of episodes in, and she doesn't even have Bartimus yet. Like she has not met Bartimus yet, so maybe we'll see. Maybe it'll be a little bit more evident when that is. But
have they shown the prodigal yet?
Yes, they have.
Okay, cool.
They have. And
cool. All right, cool. They didn't rush through that. Cool.
Yeah, no. They showed him, but they just showed him basically painting and doing his thing, and he's with Bartimus.
Cool.
And he's,
all right,
and
he's awesome.
And he's like, so they haven't found him yet. So she doesn't have Bartimus yet to like guide her. So there is that too. So which is important. I did see a spoiler where they did show. I was shocked. I didn't think they were going to do this. They did a different actor for Daniel.
Okay.
Like it's a different actor. I was like, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Like, because in the comics he grows up like that, but it's still him. No, it's a different actor. So, which I thought was interesting. So,
I mean, they may not have had a choice though. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But I mean, it's just for filming. They might not have had a choice. I don't know.
It was interesting. It was.
I would love to ask someone.
Yeah, because I was just like, oh, that's a choice. I was like, oh, well, that's spoiled for me, but that's interesting. But I mean, they are setting all of that up really well already. I think I'm like maybe 3 or 4 episodes in, and they are setting that all like you can see everything. You can see the end game and how it's all going to play out. So
cool.
So yeah. So that's.
I guess I gotta watch Sandman.
Yeah, I mean it's hard for me to watch because I'm like, and it's definitely not as good as the first season. But I would imagine that you didn't have somebody there making sure that it was. I'm sure that's probably one of the reasons.
I imagine you don't have somebody there. That's not funny. I should laugh. That's not funny.
Am I wrong? I mean, I think that's probably part of it to make sure that the tones
I'm sure
are right.
That's all of it, Josh. I'm sure
So we're talking about Neil Gaiman, who's now probably canceled. Because that was one of his complaints with Stardust when it got turned into a movie, was when he saw it, right? Guy Ritchie was like, "Oh, how'd you like it?" And he goes, "Well, I liked a lot of it. I didn't like the start of it." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Well, when the main character's parents meet for the first time, you made it look like it was like a one-night hookup of, that was all lust. And in the book, it's not that way. It's literally they see each other and it's like love at first sight. It's the fairy tale type of thing."
Yeah.
And that's not really how it was portrayed. And he was like, and that kind of messes up the whole tone of, because his dad still like never remarries because he's still right. He's still in love with this woman that he will probably never, ever, ever, ever see again. So
I like that movie though. I do like.
I mean, I love that movie. That's like I think they did a really great job. I actually kind of like the movie better than the book because there's things about
blasphemy for some people, John.
I know.
You just said that.
The only reason is because I don't like the way the book ends. Is why, and the way the movie ends is better than the way the book ends, and that's probably like if I was to really critique Neil Gaiman as much as his stories or some of my favorite stuff that has been written, his endings sometimes are a little flat to me. So
I mean, some people don't like the end of Sandman. Some people don't like it.
See,
some people don't like it. Some people don't like it.
I think it's a good.
Your face, but it's true. Some people don't like that ending. I feel like he shouldn't have wrote the sequel series though. Overture.
Well, I think if he had just done the stuff showing them when they were like younger, for better, I think that would have been fine. I think doing some of the other stories, not so much.
Yeah.
True. To me, that's kind of where. I mean, I still really like that, but I think the ending, like, you could argue the ending of Sandman should have ended maybe the book like the comic before. I'm not saying the book before, but the comic before that last story with the immortal guy isn't needed, but I feel like it kind of is because he's a constant through the whole. And then him meeting destruction is
the end of that comic feels like the very end feels like an epilogue. That is true. That is true. I like that though. I like it.
I liked it, and then he actually meets destruction.
Yeah,
like I think that's cool. So without realizing who he is, but then kind of realizing that he does.
People don't like it, Josh. People don't like it.
People are weird, and I also like that just because he does the whole thing about how Renaissance festivals aren't real Renaissance.
That's funny.
He's like, no, it should be like they shouldn't be cleaning anything up, and it should be this, and it should be that, and it should, and he can't say that I was there. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. But yeah.
Also, Josh, you got to tell the people why you hate Superman.
I don't hate it. I I just didn't like it as much as I don't hate it. As a standalone,
he told me he's lying, guys. He told me he hated it.
No, I don't hate it. As a standalone movie, it's excellent. As a part of a bigger franchise, but that's where my problem is. Like,
this guy, man,
it's where my problem is because I don't really like the way they did Lex Luthor because it felt like it was too many versions of it, like all crammed together. I was like,
did you guys hear what he just said? He doesn't like how they did Lex Luthor.
I liked the
same movie we watched.
I liked the character and how it was portrayed. I don't like the fact it was like, look, it's another scene with Lex Luthor. which Lex Luthor are we getting this time?
I'm telling you, it's the modern. It is the modern Lex Luthor, the guy who feels inadequate. I think I was with you. Until he had the one line at the end. He was like, "You think this war is about being a king of anything? No, I started this war to kill you, sir."
No,
and that was a confirmation that he's the guy. He's the modern Lex Luthor. Man.
I like that. What I don't like is that even the modern Lex Luthor would have been like, "Oh, I can't fucking destroy the world." Like, but he would be like that. He
wasn't trying to though.
And that's me. And to be fair, that is me being super nitpicky. I will nitpicky. Like that. The way the fact that they did Kira after they did the whole parent thing, that bothered me. That if you want to say something that really bothered me, because I was like, what the fuck are we doing? If she's here.
Well, okay, all right. So I'm with you, but that will all depend on how they explain her getting lost in space. Because maybe she ran away from home before she knew everything that the Kryptonians were. You know what I mean? If they tell me that, cool. But like, I'm kind of with you on that because she grew up on Krypton. Like right. She literally grew up on Krypton.
Which it depends on which version we get.
True.
Too. Do we get the version that she grew up on Krypton? Or do we get the version that she didn't grow up on Krypton? But she,
True.
It kind of depends on which version.
Like we know Supergirl grew up on Kandor. Now, Is Kandor another planet that's close to Krypton, or is it a city in Krypton? I guess we will find out. What I mean?
So there was that. That I didn't like. The parent thing didn't bother me because I figured we're gonna get that resolved later.
Are we? Are we gonna get that resolved?
I mean, I hope, because that would upset me. I'd be
what if that is how they do Zod? Zod is like, me and your dad were best friends. What are you doing, Kal-El? You're supposed to conquer this place. What are you doing? I like that. Now that'll piss off longtime Superman fans. But for me, I would look like me and your dad were like this, brother. What is this? What are you doing? Like, what do you do? They
that
put up rules about you and shit. Like,
I mean, maybe I would still because the whole like I get that probably one of the reasons they did that is so they could do that final scene where he's watching,
his parents,
his parents. Like, I get that, and you start it, and it's I get that. I hope they fix it. I hope that like there's a part of me that wonders if Brainiac purposely fucked with it
to get him to follow what his parents said.
Yeah, like not to do what his parents said, so that Brainiac could eventually show up and be like, "Oh, now I get this world because you got this world set up for me."
Oh, I like that. I like that.
I
like that
because I figure James Gunn's going to want to do Brainiac. I figured
it'd be weird, right? It'd be weird if he doesn't, right?
Like that seems like the perfect villain for him to do. Besides Bizarro, besides like true Bizarro. That's
probably what. And you didn't like that, Josh?
It's not that I didn't. No, it's not that I didn't like it. I'm watching it and they do it, and I'm like, because at first I'm like, what are we doing? And it didn't dawn on me that, when they went in the black hole, I was like, it's gonna be fucking
Bizarro world.
Yeah, I was like, it's gonna be fucking bizarre. But before that, I was like, what are we doing? Superboy? What are we doing?
I thought when they announced Ultraman, right? I was like, okay, so it can't be head of the crime syndicate.
Right.
Ultraman. Right. That's what my mind. I was like, okay, so it's not him. I was like, well, maybe it is him. But then when he was like silent the whole time, I was like, I don't know what the fuck.
And then being told what to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know what to do.
I was like,
and he took off the mask. I was like, is that Cyborg Superman? Maybe that's what I was thinking for.
I was like, I was like, what are we doing? And then, like I told you this, like the engineer being in this movie bothered me.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Not gonna lie.
Kind of bothered me because I was like, don't do it. Don't do what you want to do. I know what you want to do, and don't do it. Don't.
He didn't go all the way with it though, to be fair.
To
Thought
be
he might
fair,
have, but he didn't.
and my other thing was, if you're gonna do it, like, you can make her not like Superman, but she was like not likable, and that was problem. If once you're just gonna be like, they're gonna be evil fucks, which you can do, and I'd be like, all right, that's fine. Your proper DC universe, they probably should be evil fucks. Though that makes me wonder who you're gonna have like lead them, because I can't see it being Jenny, because that's not like she's the one that's not like that, right?
Nah.
She's the one that's not of all of them. She's the one that's not like that. But I do think him saying, "Hey, I made a clone of you," does set up Apollo. I think that does set up Apollo.
True.
Which, you know,
I mean, I was more so thinking like, okay, this is clearly Project Cadmus. Like,
yeah,
that's why I'm with you on the Amanda Waller thing. I was like, he has a point here, because you would think that her and Lex know each other, right? Like, you would think that like somehow like she's funding this because, you know,
or like I said, it like Flag sitting there. Everything Flag's doing should be to fuck over Waller. It should be like, it can't be like what I can't think like Waller thinks, where we have to like be about these. That's not.
Or a little line could have been just a little line about
like just Waller. like when they were like in the room and they're talking and they're like, hey, you know, maybe we need to have Amanda back in the room, and him go, no. He goes, that's not
absolutely not. If you bring her here, I walk, and that's it. That could have been it. Yeah,
that was it, and we didn't even get that. So that was.
I'll give you that one.
That's when I talk about like world building. That's the type of things that I'm talking about. Where I think, because you know, this is the fourth project, and I feel like we're not really getting a lot of.
But I like his approach though. That like this world has history of metahumans.
No, I like that. And that starting thing.
With the mural. Have you seen like them showing off like who like is supposed to be in the mural? Like in the movie when I saw it, I was like, okay, that's Catman. I not Catman, Wildcat. I caught Wildcat and I caught Zatara, but I didn't catch the rest of them. And then they've been showing like all the people. I'm like, okay. That looks like Sandman. That looks like, you know what I mean? I'm starting to catch him now. Yeah, that's for wannabes. I'm like, this is cool. Tested my geek, man. That's cool.
Right. Well, not just that, but when they were, you know, at the very beginning of the movie where they're talking about, hey, metahumans are a thing. The first time they really showed up was, you know, in ancient times, way back, and they were the gods. And, you know, that sets up Wonder Woman right away. Because that's her whole thing. So and it also sets up the fact that the one thing about the DC universe that's different from the Marvel universe is that they really are like the modern interpretation of the ancient gods. That's what they're supposed to be. They're not where in Marvel that's not what they are at all. And the ones that are like that are usually the bad guys. So you know, that's like a difference. So yeah, that I liked that. I liked that whole. I liked them going. You know, Superman showed up here. This happened, and then you know.
That was cool.
I like that.
That was cool, Josh.
I like that. I was like, oh, cool. We're getting the crypto thing like kind of out of the way. And then,
I like that he was Kara's dog. That was funny.
Yeah, I like that too, because I was like, what the fuck? This is like
that always never worked for me. Like that always like Crypto just being a dog from Krypton, and he's been saying like, where has dog been the whole time?
And I'm sitting there watching like when they do the message. I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm sitting there thinking, oh, we're gonna find out this was the message for Crypto, not for But then it's like, oh well, it's Kira's dog anyway, so it doesn't
Which is to me, they should just always do that. It should always be Kara's dog. That's just me, because it would make sense. Like, she's older than him when Krypton explodes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Wouldn't you think like she would take him with her? Like the
right.
I was like, that was weird.
I mean, I no, like I like that. I thought they did an excellent job with Clark and Lois's relationship. I thought that was absolutely.
I don't really like the actress that plays Lois though.
I know, but
like her, but
I mean,
really like
if I were to really nitpick the thing, her being like the ex-punk, punk kid, and then Clark being kind of like, oh, I was like, man, come on, really, really, like I get it's funny, and then oh, he likes the,
he's supposed to be corny though, John.
Yeah, but I get the corny thing, but I wanted him to be like cornier than that. Like it literally need to be, oh, I grew up on, because his parents were supposed to be older anyways. So like, I grew up on like on Dolly Parton, or I grew up on,
on Elvis Presley.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
or because his parents are supposed to be older, so it's supposed to be like
the best Kents in the history of live action.
Oh yeah, no,
far and away. When John Kent dies, it's gonna be sad as fuck. It's gonna be sad as hell because he's gonna die. He's gonna die.
Right. I mean, they're setting that up, and they were perfect because, like I said, they're supposed to be older. They're not supposed to be like they were in Man of Steel, where it's like, oh, they're kind of, whatever. But they're supposed to be older. They're supposed to be like they can't have kids anymore.
Seem kind of hickish, no disrespect,
right?
But
yeah. No, they do.
It's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be.
They're supposed to
Kansas. They're from Kansas, man.
They have a farm.
Think about, you know what I mean?
Like it's supposed to be. Hey, they're farmers from Kansas. And they're old, and they're from a generation beyond what like his friends' parents would be. Like it's supposed to be all of that. It's supposed to be, and the reason for that is that he's not supposed to have necessarily the sensibilities of like the modern generation. He's supposed to have the sensibilities
of old school. He's supposed to have old school sensibilities. Yes,
right. And that explains why he has that. So yeah. So I like that.
I love this movie. Josh hated this movie. Y'all.
I didn't hate it. I thought we were gonna get the punch in this movie. Because they made Guy pretty.
Oh, he was funny though. I'm not gonna.
He was funny, but man,
I didn't mind him.
I was like, oh, we're definitely getting it at some point. I don't know if it's gonna be Superman or.
Really curious or actually about Batman. Yeah, I'm really curious about their Batman. We shall see.
Because I was like, and for those of you who don't know, Guy was like a product of the 80s, especially the late 80s, early 90s type of superhero where, anti-hero, kind of an asshole, but everyone liked him type of thing. And he's like that. And he's a super powerful Green Lantern on top of it. Like that's another part of it.
One of the best.
Right. Like because he's like an asshole and he's, all of those. That plays into him being an actually really great Green Lantern. But he's supposed to be like this guy and he pisses off Batman, so Batman just punches him in the face and breaks his nose. And it's a great moment. And I thought we were going to get that because how he kept needling, Clark a little bit. I thought it was
I'm really curious about how they're going to do the Bat Family though, because that movie is supposed to be the Batman movie. It's supposed to be a Bat Family movie. Really curious about how they're going to do that. How old is Batman going to be? How far are we going to be in the Bat Family?
So I'm going to guess Clark in this movie is supposed to be early 30s. I'm going to guess. I
thought they said he was late 20s. I thought that's what
late 20s. Okay,
so
then Bruce would be in his late 20s, which means what? We would be at
maybe Jason as Robin.
Maybe Jason. Maybe either Jason is Robin or Jason just died.
Yeah,
one of those things. So.
Maybe the Batman movie can be a version of Under the Red Hood. Maybe possibly.
That would be. I'd be fine. I would be fine with it being a better version than the animated one. I like the animated one, but I felt like it was a
Whoa, this guy,
What?
boy, the hits keep coming. What?
I like it. Like, but I wanted Jason to be a little bit more villainy than he was.
What?
I did.
He killed the Joker like 4 times. He almost killed Batman. What are you talking about?
But come on. You know
what's this guy talking about? Boo this man, chat. Boo this man. What? How much
I just wanted more. My always with that is always the same. I want him to be like Batman's, like not Bruce's failure per se, but kind of Bruce's failure. Like that maybe Bruce was right all along that he maybe shouldn't have been Robin.
Okay, I get you.
Like he needed to be like, when I say more villainy, I don't mean like he needed to
you mean like there's no conscience there. That's
like he's a bad guy. Like he's like he becomes that thing that Bruce
he's not despises. He's not even all that hurt by what happened. He wants
right. He wants revenge. He wants that thing that Bruce always feared about him becomes a thing.
Yeah.
And and then
nobody's ever done that though, Josh. No one's
I know, but because I think they're scared to, even though really, I mean, if you went back and you were like, you asked, and that's probably a me age thing, because I'm of that age that I remember like.
You were around when this was going on in real time.
Yeah, when this was going on in real time, and everyone was like, no, kill that fucker off. Like I know they said it was like 1 vote, but still people were like, kill that fucker off.
Yeah, I find that hard to believe. 1 vote, really?
Yeah, because people really did not like him. Like, and it wasn't just because he wasn't Dick. It wasn't just that. He was like,
no, he's a whack ass Robin. You can say
it was like because if that was the case, then Tim wouldn't be so good. And
everybody loves Tim.
Right.
People even like Damien. They just didn't like this fool.
Right? Like it was like, right? Speaking of Robins, I've been meaning to ask you this. When we get the new Batman animated season, do you think we get Robin?
In that season? Mean, maybe, because they set it up in the first one. They
set it up.
Set it up with Carrie.
I mean, I still think it's got to be her. I still think
she was the one that learned what was going on. She was the one that saved everybody. I would be surprised, man. I'd be surprised.
People be so mad.
Travis said,
people be so mad.
Travis in the chat said Josh was the guy who called multiple times to try to kill him off.
He was not he was like it's hard to explain. Imagine Damien when Damien like first showed up. It was like that, and never changed. And he never changed.
Hell no.
It was like that. It was like that. It was like where eventually, like, okay, maybe he's not so bad. Like where it was just like he was just a little like asshole the whole time, and you're like,
I mean, he was what you would expect. He was a dude that was raised by Ra's al Ghul. What do you expect?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying that.
But that era of Batman, to be honest with you, like when Jason was Robin and all that stuff, some of the worst time, like some of the worst like parts of the character. I haven't read a lot of this stuff, to be honest.
Well, because they didn't know what they wanted to do with him. I mean, it was that like in between him being the James Bond Batman. I know people hate that, but
I mean that's what he was in the 70s. That's what he was.
The 70s and like the kind of the early 80s, and then the Dixon Batman, which was like
what everybody thinks he is now.
Right. And really like not. So it's kind of that. I mean, there's a reason why people were like, when Return of the Dark Knight came out, everyone was like, oh, this is Batman, even though it's like a very like weird outed version of Batman, really. And I love that.
You can only do that in a certain circumstance, certain moment in time. Right. Everything has to fit right for that story to work.
Right. Like that's kind of like Alan Moore's thing on it, is that he's like, he's like he turned Batman into everything Batman's not, but it works because that's kind of what it needed to be, because he was, it was kind of like it all worked. So it's a good mirror to Watchmen in a lot of ways too. That's the other thing that people don't.
Another story people don't understand at all.
Oh, well, it's hard. Like you need to really get Watchmen. You need to go back and you need to read like the stuff before Watchmen, and then you get, oh, this is what comics were before.
What superhero comics were before Watchmen. And then,
right, right. Like even X-Men was not like what people think X-Men was. It just had X-Men was just very soap opera. So was Teen Titans. It was just had a lot of soap opera. It wasn't like there wasn't a lot of darkness to it. It was just very
it was like, ooh, he's sleeping with you. Oh my god.
Or like, ooh, she gave him the look. It was a lot of that type of it was a lot of that type of stuff. So,
man, that's funny. That's funny that you say that.
But because I mean, that's kind of like if you go back and you read it, it's not like I think people go back and they read like the Dark Phoenix saga, and I think they understand what it's going to be, and then they're like, "Oh, this isn't what
this is that thing that everyone says."
Right, especially when you get to the ending, you realize that the ending that they think they know isn't the ending that because everyone thinks, "Oh, well, Wolverine killed it." No, Wolverine didn't. He couldn't kill. He couldn't do it. Scott had to do it. So, which
someone asked, is the Clayface movie supposed to be set in this universe or the Matt Reeves universe? I think it's the
Matt Reeves.
I think it's the Matt Reeves. Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
I think it's the Matt Reeves. I think it's because it's supposed to be a more realistic version of Clayface, because it's supposed to be based more on the animated series Clayface.
I know Matt Reeves is producing it. Mike Flanagan is writing it.
That sure does sound like
sounds like a Matt Reeves movie to me.
Right.
Or maybe not. I don't know. Either way, looking forward to that one. They said it's supposed to be like the animated series episode. So.
Yeah. So
that's all I needed to know. That's all I need. It's one of the best episodes of that show, man. That's all I needed to know. You talk about a show that the reason why people love Batman's Road Gallery so much because of that show.
Right.
Because a lot of them, their whole like origins and motivations changed because of that show. They took like Mr. Freeze. Think about Mr. Freeze.
Right. Mr. Freeze. Harley Quinn wasn't a thing. Like
she was invented because of that show. Yeah. She was invented in the show.
They invented her. Him. Let's see. Harley Quinn. I'm trying to think of somebody else that was like different. I mean, I would say that a lot of modern at that time Batman fans that were probably young, a little younger than me, really didn't get Ra's al Ghul because he wasn't a thing in the comics really anymore. Like he wasn't.
It was just his debut, and he was gone for years and years and years.
Yeah. Right, like you had that, like you had him show up, you had all of that, you had Son of the Demon, and really that was kind of it. Even though he really is kind of like in a lot of ways, the ultimate Batman.
I would say after the Joker is him,
right?
Joker and then him,
right? So you had that. Trying to think of another.
I think Poison Ivy is a lot different in that show. Environmentalist instead of just some crazy person.
Right, just some crazy man hater, like, which is kind of what she was. I think because of the TV show, Catwoman went back to more of what like she originally was too.
True.
I would say that
for better or worse. You're right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, probably the same thing with Batgirl in a lot of ways, because when they finally introduced kind of like Batgirl, it was kind of that way, and then Because by the TV show, that girl wasn't a thing. It was, it was Oracle. So Bushido.
Oh yeah, that's true. She was already Oracle when that show came out.
She was
That's
already
true.
Oracle. So and really, you got the bat. You didn't even get like really comic book Batgirl. You got like kind of more Batgirl from the TV show.
Yeah,
really,
Yeah.
just kind of just not goofy. I'm trying to think like other.
You're right about that. She had been Oracle for a few years at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Because what?
Killing Joke was what, 87?
Yeah.
86, something like that.
Yeah. So,
I didn't even think about that. That's crazy when you think about it.
Alan Moore having to explain the ending to that comic to people.
Man, see, like, look, man, it's not supposed to be. You can interpret it.
Yeah, I mean, and he purposely did that, but he also is like, hey, you can interpret. I wrote it so you can interpret it.
Bro.
It's like you can interpret it however you want, but kind of the point is that he finally did go. That the Joker did finally go over the line. So
people ruin things for themselves, man. If you want to think that he didn't kill him, then you can think that. Just it works the same way. Like you don't have to. You didn't need confirmation. You're filling the blanks, man. That's like watching the end of Inception and going, man, does the top hit the table? Like, no, you're supposed to like, hey, it could have. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't.
Maybe it didn't.
That's the point.
Right. But
it's like
we got
Stupid,
got Batman Beyond from it too, which is now a thing. I mean, in the comics.
True. This is a great thing they added to the mythos in the comics, honestly.
Right.
You ever read any of those books?
I've not. I know in the comics that they did eventually they did bring in Dick eventually in the comics.
Awesome shit.
That they eventually did bring in Dick. So which I was always like, ooh, that's probably good. And I saw that he's like I saw that he looks very Slatish in that comic.
You don't know what they do with Dick in that, do you?
He looks very Slatish. I was like, I saw it and I was like, oh,
because he's not a friend. Let's play.
I was like, oh, he looks like a certain somebody.
Yeah, the Dick Grayson stuff is really good in that. Because they bring him in the story that's about Hush. Now, I don't want to ruin too much, but it's it's good shit, man. It's good shit if you never read it. But yeah, without that show, we don't get any of that. Terry McGinnis is, as much as I love Miles Morales, he's the best like legacy character like that, in my opinion. But like that, especially, I don't count like the Flash.
Especially when you get to like that Justice League Unlimited episode, when you get to prologue, right?
Epilogue,
and it's like, oh, this is good,
man. That's another thing I forgot to bring up when we were talking about Superman. That movie, because Chase brought this up, and he was right. I didn't think about it. That movie feels like a Superman-centric episode of Justice League Unlimited.
It does. I
didn't think about that shit.
Okay, so
you're right.
Talking Superman, I got a question. Which are we more likely to see? Or will we see both? I don't think we'll see both. But which are we more likely to see? Are we more likely to see the let me show you how powerful I really am? Or are we more likely to see Bruce, you're not always right?
I don't think we get the first thing because he just got beat up so much. I think they just nerfed him. But the second thing I can see, depending on the Batman, depending on how they portray him, I can see that. Yeah, I can say we're probably more likely to get something like that. I don't think we get that first thing. I don't. I hope so, but I don't.
I mean,
because he got his ass whooped a lot.
Yeah, I know. But maybe you explain that's why is because he's trying to
He's scared he might hurt people. Man.
And they kind of did do that when like the Justice League are fighting stuff, and he's like, "Well, you guys stop Like there's buildings and stuff. Will you guys stop? And they're like, who
Yeah,
cares?
you're right. When he was like saving people, maybe.
Yeah,
You're right.
and
maybe.
they're like, we're trying to do this. Also, this is my other thing. Okay, in Superman, he says interdimensional imp.
Oh yeah, I caught that.
And I'm like,
oh yeah, Mitzi, you're gonna get Mitzi. Come on now.
I was like, really? He can't just show up and just trick him and just trick him just like that.
And listen. This is the movie where Josh said they didn't build the world. This is the movie.
No.
They said they didn't build the world.
I'm just saying that I have no faith we're gonna get him again, because if he had been like, hey, give me a second, and flown off, and you see them fighting whatever, and he's like in that whatever thing they were fighting, and he gets him, he tricks him somehow just like that, because that's very a Superman thing, and then he goes fuck, and then disappears, and then
that would have been a good joke. I'm not gonna lie.
That I would have been like, okay, eventually we're gonna get. I would have more faith, but him just kept being like, oh, it's an interdimensional imp. I was like,
that would have been a good joke. Maybe he's having a conversation with Lois, and he just goes, hold on, honey.
Flies off.
He flies off, and he just comes back, and that would have been funny.
I'm like, what? And he goes, I just had to, and explain. I just had to trick him into saying his name backwards. How'd you do that? Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. What were you saying?
Yeah. To me, that would have been more like just kind of name dropping him and being like, without name dropping him. And I was like, really?
I mean, maybe we get him. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we get him and Batmite. You know what I mean? Hell, we're getting Batman, the more comic book and fantastical one. That's what James Gunn said. So maybe we get shit like that. I hope, man.
I don't want Batgod. I just don't want Batgod.
Who does at this point? How can anyone want that at this point? We've seen it.
People want that. So people are like, no, that's Batman. People are like, that's not. Batman. It's like, because he's the only one without superpowers and he has to be the one to be. I'm like, no. I don't need him being able to defeat everybody. I don't need him to being able to beat Darkseid by himself. That's stupid.
With prep time, Batman can be. I hate that, bro. I hate that. He's a regular guy. He's me and you. He's
like yes. Theoretically, it should be like, oh, he could probably beat him, but then it's like, no, like, and Batman should there needs to be something Batman is scared of beyond Superman turning evil. Like it can't just be that. It's got to be like,
even if you want to do him being scared of what he's actually scared of and being alone,
right?
If you want to do that, just he has to be flawed, man. He's a man. He's a man.
Right, and he is flawed. That's why
the premise of Batman is flawed in itself. He should be flawed.
Right. Like the reason Dick does not like him is because of his flaws.
Yeah.
Because he's like, you suck as a dad.
You didn't give me what I need. You know what I mean?
Right.
You were
we're getting James Gunn is gonna do Booster Gold. That's like,
yeah, he already announced that.
But I mean, did he even need to announce that? Like, of all the DC, like of all of the DC characters, see, I have no faith that he's brave enough to do Plastic Man. I have no faith that he's brave enough to do Plastic Man, even though he should. He should. He would be excellent. He would do, if he just said I want to do a Plastic Man movie, I'd be like, go.
That Justice League, Justice Gang, that's Justice League International. Right. Maxwell Lord funds it. You know what I mean? Guy Gardner's a part of it. Hawk Girl's in it. They just added Metamorpho. That's Justice League International. They just hadn't called it yet. Right. I forgot to bring that up when I was talking about it. Yeah.
I was like,
team. That's the team.
But yeah,
we might get them, and then we might get the actual Justice League. Maybe. Right.
And then, but yes, I would if he could do Plastic Man and don't nerf Plastic Man. Be all like freak people out and be like and have people go, what the fuck? This is supposed to be a comedy character. Yes, he is a comedy character. He just happens to be also one of the most powerful characters there is. Too.
Physically, maybe the most powerful.
Right.
Maybe the most.
Right. Like that type of thing.
Can't die. He can't fucking die.
you know. And if they do, and I'm sure this is the other thing Gunn, I think, should is you have to show the way he sees the world, like physically sees the world, too, so that you get an idea of, oh wait, what the fuck? He sees the world like this?
That's weird.
Yeah, like if you don't know, Plastic Man sees the world in like not the way the world is. It's all animated and
yeah,
like that's, and so that's one of the reasons why he's kind of crazy, is because he sees the world and he knows it. He's like, this isn't how the world is,
but it's
right.
It's a side effect of what made him all
right plastic. Because he's not like, people make the mistake of, oh, he's just kind of like Reed Richards, and he's not like Reed Richards. No, he literally can, like, he can do things Reed Richards can't do. So,
and his durability trumps Reed Richards, because
right, like
if you saw Fantastic Four, Galactus is about to rip him in half.
Right. And Plastic Man would have been like, oh, we're playing this game, and then wrapped himself around Galactus. And you'd been like, what just the fuck happened? Like that's
not saying he beat Galactus in a fight, but like, Galactus wouldn't be able to hurt him. It wouldn't be able to hurt him. It
would be like he'd be doing the stretchy thing, and then he went like, oh, we're playing this, and then he would have
let me help you out a little bit.
Be like, what? Yeah. Like it's like he's the one of the there was an Alex Ross book that came out where he where it was Alex Ross's Art of the Justice League, and then had little blurbs. Did you ever see that? And it has all of the Justice League characters in it, and one of them is Plastic Man, and it's talking about Plastic Man, and it's saying, hey, he can be anything.
Oh, you're talking about Justice? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and he goes, he can be anything, including maybe the book that's in your hand.
Yeah, book that's in your hand.
And then at the very bottom, you see him like going, ta-da!
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because that's in like the when they talk about each character in the story.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I remember that.
And it's like, oh, this is good. And it's probably like, I would never recommend anyone ever watching this, but the sequel to Dark Knight Returns, which is like not good. But one of the things that they do is they free Plastic Man because they've captured Plastic Man, and they basically put him in a prison and are having him through kinetic energy like be a power plant. And then they like free him, and Carrie like sees him and is like, what? Like she can't fathom what she just saw, and she like either she thinks it or she turns it and says, is he a god? And it's like, maybe. It's like, yeah, he might be the most powerful of all of us. So,
by the way, I don't think that book is terrible, but it's not great.
It's not. I will tell you it's terrible because I don't want people to. I don't want to say, you know what, it's really not that bad.
There's a sequel to Dark Knight Returns. I don't want people to think. I
don't want people to think that, because there's a lot of like the story itself is not horrible. The art isn't great, but if you know why the art isn't great, it makes sense. Because
you ever read the third one, Josh?
I haven't. I've heard it's good though, because
it's better than the second one.
Right. Well, yeah. You have.
I mean, at that point,
you have somebody holding. Frank Miller's hand. You have somebody holding Frank Miller's hand. No, we're not gonna do that. You got Brian. Yeah, Brian going. No,
Brian Azzarello is basically
going. No, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that.
Frank Miller's help. Yeah.
We ain't doing that. He goes, okay. Can we do this? Okay, I'll let you do that. It's that type of thing. So yeah.
All right. So we've been going for like 2 hours. I gotta get my rant off. I gotta get my rant off before we get up out of here. Because holy shit, I am pissed off, man. I am pissed off to the highest level of pisstasticity. All right. Like, I am fucking mad as hell. So if y'all don't know, Evolution Championship Series is this weekend. I will be in attendance. I'm planning a whole fucking year around this fucking weekend. And I'm excited because Evolution, y'all know Evolution, biggest fighting game tournament in the world, in the universe. And they just released the streaming schedule. Now, it doesn't mean anything for me because I'm gonna be there, and that's fine. But it does in a sense that this kind of lets me know how the top 8s will be handled, and it pisses me off. Okay, so the first day there is no top 8s. Don't worry about it, right? So day 2, we're starting the arena. We're starting the arena top 8s. Okay, so we got Mortal Kombat 1 in the arena. We got Under Night in Birth in the arena. We got Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in the arena, and we got Grand Blue finishing off the night in the arena. Here's what pisses me off. You announce these side games are a part of EVO this year. This is what you announce, right? They're all a part of EVO this year. EVO is doing this. EVO is doing that. They might not be in the arena, but they're going to be in the main hall. And we're doing our best to spotlight these games, right? So at the same time, when Mortal Kombat 1 is going on, you got Guilty Gear Xrd happening at the same time. CVS 2 is happening at the same time as MK1 and Under Night in Birth. So, question for you, Josh. You're somebody there. You're somebody there. What do you do if you go, hey, I want to watch this top 8, but also this top 8? Now I got to make a choice. Do I stand in the line where all the people are going to be to go in the arena, or do I sit in this main hall and watch this other top 8 that I was interested in? One of the reasons I flew out here, because I give you an even better example. On the final day, there are still side finals happening. At the same time, I entered Strive. Late in the game, I entered Strive. I don't expect to do well. Not important. Late in the game, I entered Strive, right? But at the same time as Strive, Virtua Fighter 5 Revo is happening. The finals of that is happening at the same time as the finals of Strive. Like, what are we doing?
So,
like,
here's my thing with that.
Crazy.
Here's my thing with that. Why would you have? Because I would think, even though people probably don't think this, there is a lot of crossover between, especially those two games. I would think that there was a lot of crossover between those two games. Why would you want to put those two at the same time? I would think you could put other.
They also said that Hado and some of the other guys like organizing it. They said that they took into account the crossover entrance for each one, but you got some people that are just going out to spectate, and
right.
like you said, like there's a lot of VF people that like VF that also like Strive. There's a lot of like they
now I will say this.
No, go ahead.
And we both know this. MK1, nobody.
No, man, don't do that, man.
I'm just saying.
I'm sure. Like that top 8, a lot of people are gonna be.
I'm sure it will be good. I'm sure it will be fun to watch. I'm just saying that there's 500 and
less than that. It's like 300 some change.
It's like some of those side games are pretty close.
Pretty close, yeah, it's true.
Are pretty close. Are like I will when you posted the thing with all the numbers, I was kind of shocked. But then when I kind of thought about it, I said, well, that might be why. That Capcom versus SNK 2 had that number was as low as it was. But I figured, okay, some of that might be
featured, man. It's not featured.
It's not featured, and you probably have a lot of those same players are doing, Capcom versus Marvel. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, that kind of they probably hurt that a little bit, I would think. So
look, I entered City of the Wolves, which I'm not ready for. Street Fighter 6, which I'm more ready for than City of the Wolves. I feel like King of Fighters, which I don't know, the stick that I play that with. I got the octagonal gate in it, and I don't know. I'm experiencing some drift with that stick that I use, because I use my dragon, which I was just gonna bring and use for everything. That's what I use for that game, for King of Fighters. But I don't know, because like I can fix it, but the parts aren't gonna get here in time. They're not. I'm not gonna be here, so like it's gonna be waiting on me. Maybe because I know. Hopefully, Arcade Shock is out there, because they always have a table set up, and maybe I can just buy the parts and try to fix it before I actually. Because I think pools for that. I think they start on Saturday. I want to say for King of Fighters, I believe. Yeah, the pool start on Saturday for that. So
And if
they start on Friday.
If you ever wondered where the SNK fan base is, that thing you showed where it showed like where all the players were from like around the world for the certain games. Oh my God.
Japan and Korea. Japan and Mexico.
Korea,
and Mexico.
Brazil and France, I think was the other was like, okay, that's
because if you show like the top countries for like Street Fighter,
it's pretty much
it's what you would expect. But like you look at those top countries for King of Fighters and City of the Wolves, Japan, Mexico, Brazil, Korea, and France. That's it. And also the UK. Those are the which not unexpected. It's not unexpected.
Right. It's just interesting to see. What do you have anything you're expecting to see there? That
what you mean in terms of announcements?
Yeah.
I expect a Chun-Li trailer for City of the Wolves. I expect a Chun-Li trailer or some sort of like this is how she looks, something like that. Definitely a new character for Virtua Fighter. We'll probably get I'm guessing probably Kage. That's what I'm guessing. But like this is how he looks. Let's see. I'm not expecting Capcom vs SNK3, Josh. Not expecting.
You'll just die on the floor if they announce it.
I'm not expecting. Tekken will probably get the next character for Tekken. I would imagine. I entered that too. Don't ask me why. What else?
Don't they have the last character for Strive?
Oh yeah. We'll probably see old girl from Cyberpunk, most definitely, and maybe another announcement for the next step in Guilty Gear, whether it's another season of Strive or maybe a new game. I don't know.
Maybe they'll they'll string Strive along.
Yeah,
until the Marvel game comes out, and then go from there.
Strive still having over 1,000 entrants is so crazy to me. It's so
that game, crazy. Like people like that game.
That's so wild, bro. And it's funny because I remember when it first came out, all the diehard Guilty Gear players were like, "This is so different. No one's gonna play this." The best selling game not named Dragon Ball that Arc Systems has ever put out is Strive. That's so funny to me.
I Max O'Million always has the best thing with that is that you pissed off the niche fans that were playing the game, but you got so many more fans because you pissed them off. I mean,
I don't even know why they're so mad. If the fundamentals of Strive are the same as X, it's the same thing. The whole thing is waiting for your turn, and punishing. Waiting for your turn and punish. It's the same fucking loop. The only difference now is that Strive wants you to be more aggressive instead of controlling space. Strive wants you to rush down more. That's all. There's no zoning. There's none of that. It just wants you to rush down. And to me, that's more fun, man. I didn't want to sit there and play the.
It's more fun to watch.
Game.
It's more fun.
Like, yeah, man. What are we doing?
Like, it's more fun to watch. Like, whenever, like, the last 2 years when I've watched the Strive tournaments, those are the most fun tournaments to watch because there's so much going on. Like,
so many people bitched about Happy Chaos last year, and I was so mad I wasn't there. So many people bitched about Happy Chaos last year, but Happy Chaos was the most exciting thing watching those sets when I was watching at home. To see people get around his bullshit. It was the best shit. It was the coolest shit to watch, man. Like, right. Yes, was he unbalanced? Yes, was he kind of unfair? And you're gonna see a lot of him again, so get ready for that. But still, like, getting around him and all that was the best shit to watch. Like, because when someone overcame him, it felt like we all overcame him. Like, stuff like that, you need stuff like that in your games. You know what I mean?
Right.
And people want to talk about a character like that. Like, Excerpt was so fucking balanced, man. Like, come on, man. What are we doing? Like, Axel, like 50 million people didn't play fucking Axel. Like, what are we doing here? It's the same shit. Just because you don't like the character, it's the same concept, man. Overpowered character, people play said character. We've been getting around this for 30 years, since Street Fighter 2, since Gaio and the World Warrior. Like, come on. Like, are we new here? Let's act like adults, man. Let's act like adults.
Because you're gonna get people to play. They're gonna figure out, oh, this is the best character to play, and they're gonna play them.
And either people want to play them or people want to beat that character. That's the beauty of the games, man.
Right.
And Happy Chaos just happens to be that character. And to me, hey, Dirty Secret, he's fucking fun. I don't know what to tell you. He's fun. I'm sorry. When I play, my main is Soul, because Soul's been my main since the original Guilty Gear. I'm always gonna use Soul. But my secondary, I got a pocket Happy Chaos, man. I might bring him out. Comes just being honest, he's in my back pocket. I might bring him out a couple times on fucking Thursday. I'm not gonna lie. He's fun, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, but that's the point. Is you want to play. It's like when people complain because Capcom puts Dan in games, and it's like he's not there. He's there for a purpose. He's not there to be like the best character. He's there to be fun, and he's there to be, when you're playing someone, to be a complete jackass to. That's the
yeah. 5 was the only time he was actually good.
Right, like he's
a joke with him for real. Yeah,
he's a joke character. He was always meant to be a joke character. So,
like, Josh, what am I going to do on Sunday when the King of Fighters Top 8 is happening, and then like Tekken is going on at the same time? Like that's annoying, man. That's annoying.
That's very annoying.
Because the player base is Korean for Tekken. Like the best players most of them are all Korean, most of them. And then the best players in fucking King of Fighters are Korean. Like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do?
I agree. I will say this though. I would much rather watch King of Fighters than Tekken at home.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know, Josh.
Tekken is a lot of just this like all these games end up being very like similar, but the strings in Tekken, I get, especially after like you watching the same people play like 8 times, it gets kind of like
I don't know if I can agree with that, Josh.
That's probably maybe a me thing, but that's just like
Look, man, high level Tekken is the most dramatic shit I've ever seen in my life, man. It's the most dramatic and tense. It's like watching an All Japan finishing stretch. Like the fucking Tekken matches, man. When you got that pixel left, crazy, man.
No, but I get that. But what I'm saying is that you see, it's pretty much more to me than any other game. It's a lot of the same fights over and 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 over.
I guess you're right, because a lot of people pick the same characters too, which is annoying.
And it's just like, okay.
How many times can we see Dragunov? How many times can we see Dragon? Oh my god!
And playing the exact same way, like it's just the exact same, and you're like, okay.
Oh, get ready, because you're gonna see a lot of Fakuram. I know, because listen, last weekend I went to a local and all people were playing was Fakuram. I know for a fact that a lot of the Atlanta players are all playing Fakuram. They all complain about him, but they all picked him up. That's kind of funny to me. You're gonna see a lot of Fakuram, gonna see a lot of Dragunov again. So just get ready for that. You're ready for that.
I mean, people are going to complain about Sagat.
Man,
you know it. You know that's going to happen.
He looks the same as he's always looked. What is there to complain about? He looks like Sagat. He looks like
they're going to be like he's overpowered. They're going to be like he's overpowered.
He's Sagat. He's always like he's Sagat. The only time he hasn't been is 5, and we all hated how he played in that. So what are we doing? Grow up.
And he's a DLC character, which means he's got to be good, because you want people to buy.
You want people to buy the character.
You want people to buy the character.
Putting on those scrubby ass DLC. It's not happening.
What? I don't understand. It's like any of these people that complain about the DLCs, and they're like, "Why don't they put the new characters in the DLC?" Because people won't buy them.
People won't buy the new characters, man. The DLC has to be familiar character. They want you to play the game and go, oh man, this has been a lot of fun. oh, they're adding this character I love to
Right.
the game. That's what it. That's
That's
the
how
whole
they make.
point.
It's either they do that or you're paying $150 for your fighting games.
You want Dead or Alive? Because we did that before, and y'all didn't play it. Y'all didn't play it, so.
Which,
so many people beg for Dead or Alive to come back, and Dead or Alive did exactly what you said, Josh, and you motherfuckers didn't play it. So
I'm just saying that's the thing. Is that that's like which do you want? Do you want to pay $150 for the game?
Not be. By the way, I would not be surprised if we got something with that. Don't be surprised.
Dead or Alive,
because them dudes are being really weird about that. Don't be surprised. If we get something.
Maybe.
And I don't expect a sequel, but I don't think Killer Instinct is dead either. I'll just say that too. So
I mean, you don't put Killer Instinct in that, even if it's that secondary group. If
you ain't have something to announce,
because pretty much everything else in that group, right? Everything else in that group has something new. Or something new,
or things have been teased. You know what I mean? Or something like Killer Instinct's not there for no reason. No reason? I don't think so. By the way, I'm really excited for that. One of my best friends in the world is one of the 32 best Killer Instinct players in the world. He might actually make the top 8. He might actually make the top. So I'm really excited about that. So honestly. That's the thing I'm most excited because he gets top 8. We're gonna act an ass on that stage. I already know. I already know. There's like a gang of 20. If he makes top 8, Josh, I'm telling you, viral moment incoming. You're gonna see my fat ass on that stage. I know how hard he's been trying to. Yeah, if he makes top 8, man.
I mean, I can see that. Just like I said, that's the only one in that group that doesn't have anything like. Doesn't have anything coming, right? Because it's
at least that's the only one that hasn't had anything teased. Like, you got Virtua Fighter again. We're getting Virtua Fighter 6, Blaze Blue, I guess. But why is that here too? Why is that here? You know what I mean? King of Fighters, we obviously ended up with,
right?
And
City of the Wolves.
From what I hear, that's not done either. Like somebody told me they might be adding new characters. Then you got Samurai Showdown, which again, I don't want to get my hopes up, but that's here. Rivals,
but it's not dead too. You also know it's not dead.
Well, what you think? You think they're going?
No. What I'm saying is that it's not that.
Oh, at some point we might get. Yeah,
we're going to get another Samurai Showdown. Like,
yeah, true. That's true. That's true.
Right.
It might not be in the next 5 or 6 years, but
we know we're getting one, right?
Yeah. Everything else, like we got Strive with Xrd. Rivals of Aether is still active. You know what I mean? It's still adding characters. I still can't believe like that's gonna be an Evo, and that's gonna be the fucking primetime game in the hall, not in the arena, but in the hall. Mm-hmm. On Saturday, it's going to be the primetime game. Rivals of Aether. That's going to be interesting. I can tell you now, going to be in the arena. Like that's interesting and all, but I'm going to be in the arena, man. Marvel's Capcom 2 is happening. I'm being there.
That's going to be. I'm curious when we get down to like the last 20 or so for that game. I'm really curious about like what that's going to look like.
What you mean for Aether? Or
no, for Marvel versus Capcom.
Oh, it's going to be the same names we've been seeing for decades, man. Justin Wong, IFC Ice, Clockwork, all the usual people we've been seeing for decades, man. That's going to be cool. That is going to be cool. That is good. There's a good chance that because I've been watching the streams and Yipes has been 100% all into Marvel's Capcom 2. There's a good chance he can win that whole tournament. That's crazy to think about. Because that dude is one of the nicest guys I ever met, man. He deserves that. So it's a good chance it can happen. And Justin Wong's gonna be at the end too, 100%. And then you got all the new guys that play Marvel's Capcom 2 now. It's a whole lot of them. So.
That's what I mean. I think it's going to be interesting to see what that what that looks like when we get down to like, because I know when they announced it, a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's going to be all the old names, right? Or if not the old names, a lot of the names that we know." And I'm wondering if we get some like surprises, just because it's an older game. There's probably a lot of people that play people on.
Not because of that collection, man.
Yeah, because they're playing on Fightcade, and you don't know who really you're fighting on Fightcade, right? I mean, you don't. So, like, you might get some people that you're like, oh, who's this? Who's this dude? Because we haven't seen the game, and
I'm also excited about that arcade. I'm so excited.
You'll have to tell me about the arcade, because the arcade sounds like it's gonna. I mean, the last interview I saw, and they were talking about that arcade. They said it wasn't Gambling Ghost. They said it wasn't that, but they said they were trying to get close. So, that says a lot.
When I'm out of everything, which is probably gonna be Saturday. that's when I'll kind of buy shit and actually enjoy my trip, because I'm the first. If people don't know, just like if you go out there to play, you're so locked in that because if you notice, and that's just everyone, unless you're like a tourist or you're a cosplayer or something like that, one thing you don't see a whole lot of, or if you make content, some people do that. I don't, whatever. But if you're like someone who's out there to play, you don't see a whole lot of people chronicling, this is my trip to Vegas, blah blah blah. Everyone's in kill mode. You know what I mean? Until you start losing, and then you're not in kill mode anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why you don't see a whole lot of, this is how my Vegas trip went. Right. A lot of people don't do that because that's not where your head's at. You know what I mean? And I'm excited because I want to get out there and experience finals day and just all that stuff. But I'm trying to get my head back into killer mode, and it's been hard to do that because this is gonna sound kind of crazy, but life has been kind of great for me the past couple of weeks. It's just been busy, been really busy. But any other time I've gone out there, for me to get in killer mode is because I'm mad at the world. And Markeem just been happy. Haven't been mad at the world. So maybe
you'll do better because you're in a.
I'm not mad at it. Maybe.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know.
You'll be like, oh, maybe I.
Maybe I shouldn't be mad at the world.
Right. Right. No, when me and my youngest daughter, we went to a anime convention 3 months ago, and they had an arcade there, and I'm looking around because there was a lot of rhythm games and what you would expect at an anime convention, and we walk out. And they did not have them on, but they had a row of SNK cabinets, and I was so.
Was Metal Slug out there?
Yeah, they had they. It was a row of. It was probably 6 cabinets, so it was. It was a lot of the newer stuff, but it was. I just looked at them, and one of the guys that was running the arcade walked over, and he goes, yeah. We couldn't get him up after we got him in here. And I was like, he's like, you're not the first one to look. He's like, you're not the first one to look at those cabinets and just he goes, we don't know what is up with them, but we couldn't get any of them to come up. And I was like, But
probably the what they call the board on the inside.
Yeah, probably
something going on with that.
They thought it was something to do with the power outlets at the hotel it was at. They thought it had something to do with that because they said we can't get them to come on at all, and we know they
didn't even get power.
Yeah, they weren't even getting power. They were like, we don't know what's going on with them. We think it's the power. We think we think it's something with the power with the hotel because they're not coming on, and we know they were working before they got here. So I was like,
oh man.
I was like, fuck.
Oh man.
And my daughter's like, because she's looking at them and she's like, what is there 5 games in each of these? And I'm like, yes. And I'm like, yes. And she's like, that's a lot of games. And I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of games.
You know what I used to hate? Remember back in the day where you get on that machine, put your quarter in, pick the game, and then you have someone who puts their quarter in and they change the game.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate that shit so much, man. Like
Well,
I'm playing Samurai Showdown and some motherfucker puts a quarter in and then they change it to, I don't know, Metal Slug or something. I used to be mad as hell, man. Like, come on. Don't want to do that right now.
Right. Like, yeah, but it was a lot of like, it was weird because it was a lot of like rhythm games and stuff. But yeah, they had this one row and they were like, yeah, I guess there's a classic arcade place here that's trying to get like up and going, and they got them from there, and they're like, we know they were working when they left, and they go, and but they just none of them will come on, and we don't know what's. And we went the last day of them, and it was like a 3-day convention. So, but she looked at them and was like, so what? There's like 5 games in each of these, and I'm like, yes. And she goes, are they all good? And I'm like, yes. I'm like, yes. Like, yes.
I think she would dig something like a Metal Slug or something like
that. Well, she saw that they had Bubble Bobble, and she was like, oh, they've got, but it was like Bubble Bobble like tournament or something, like one she'd never seen before. And she was like, what is that? And I'm like, yeah, that's the company that makes it. And she was
you've been playing this game for so long and don't realize it.
She's like, oh, I love that game. And I'm like, yeah. I said, well, this is a different version of it, but yeah. And so she's like asking me about like each one of them, and she was just like, this is how they used to be. I said, no. This is the only ones that were ever like this. And so when we got home, because I've got on a card, I've got all the pictures I took when me and Chase went to Galloping Ghost. And I've got a picture from both ends of the aisle that had all the SNK cabinets, because it's probably 15 cabinets on each side, and it's a whole aisle. That's
crazy.
So crazy. It's like every SNK game you can ever fucking imagine.
Because if you think about it, those machines each have multiple games. It's
right.
Probably so many games.
Right. Like literally I walked through and was like, okay, let me see. And I'm like looking. And Chase was like, what are you looking for? And I was like, I'm just seeing what's not here. Because I cannot believe they have this many SNK cabinets. And they're all full. And he's like, oh. And then when we saw Capcom versus the anime company, the
Tatsunoko.
Yeah, when we saw that, because they had a cabinet of that there, and I'm looking at it, and it was, the screen was a little on it, and I was just like, I've never seen one of these. And he's like, what? I go, I didn't even know they made a cabinet of these. And the guy that was running the thing, I started playing, and he came up behind me and said, I heard you said you never seen it. He goes, yeah. And he goes, we had to bring this one in from Japan. And I was like,
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Especially because that game was like a flash in the pan, man. Nobody played that for that long. That's nuts. They even had.
People keep asking for him to bring it back, and it's like they probably can't.
The rights is just crazy. So many different animes, and they can't do that. So a moment in time, man, we ain't never getting that again. Never get that again. Oh, and also, I also found out some distressing news. The guy that runs, and he posted about it on Twitter. The guy that runs the Tournament Fighters tournament every year, he's not running it this year.
That sucks.
That sucks, man. That sucks. He said somebody else may do it, but it won't be his turn.
It won't be him. That sucks. That's such a good game too.
He's not going to be out there. Which, man, that's
such a good game that people don't. They kind of, I don't want to say lost, because people know of it, because it's like the only, it's the only.
Of course, all 30 people that enter every year. I'm sure
right, but not enough people know about it, and it was such a good game, and it's like, Konami, you could have keep making these.
Man, listen. I would argue that it was better than a lot of the fighting games that people lied from that same era. Like a lot of them. Let's put it like this. I think it's better than the Super Nintendo version of Super Street Fighter 2. I think hands down it's better. I think it's better than Fatal Fury 2. You know what I mean? I think it's better than obviously not Super Turbo. That's crazy. Obviously not Turbo, but obviously not Mortal Kombat 2. But I think it's better than the first Mortal Kombat. 100%.
Yeah.
It's better than a lot of those games, man. Whole lot of them. Ton of them.
And
The
it's
first
fun.
Alpha,
I mean, the other
I think
thing
it's better.
it's fun. That's the other part of it. It's like it's not like what you think a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fighting game would be is not that game.
Not at all.
It's you know, like
Also is one of the smart, like it's a lot of like fucking like tech that goes into that. A lot of like setups that are like way ahead of its time, like things that many games didn't have. Like games didn't have unblockable setups. Leonardo has like 3 of them. The games back then weren't asking you to tech throws and stuff like that. That game does all that. It was way ahead of its time. Way ahead of its time. And it was the Ninja Turtles, kind of crazy.
which you would think would mean that it would be a bigger deal than it is. I mean, it came out at a time when the Ninja Turtles weren't like as hot because it was like a kind of a
it was after the big beat 'em up, so it was like that little sweet spot where they weren't like and it never came out in the art. I think that's what killed it. It never came out in the arcade. I think that's what. It was just on Super Nintendo and the Sega one is terrible, but the Super Nintendo one, Sega one is awful. Stay away from that. It's terrible. But Josh, what else you got, man? It's like we've been talking for 2 hours.
I know.
Minutes,
I know. Chase is gonna see the link and be like,
so
glad I wasn't here.
Tuesday we're recording, right?
Right.
Okay.
We should be recording. So we'll talk. I guess I'll have to talk about.
Guess we'll talk about Hulk Hogan and. I mean, we got to, man.
I mean, it's not
irresponsible.
It's not that I don't want to talk about Hulk Hogan. It's not that. It's that I'm watching like the discourse on Hulk Hogan, and it's making me angry because you got these people that want people to say things about Hulk Hogan, like the fact that they said something about Hulk Hogan on Collision. You have one group of fans that got mad because they said something about Hulk Hogan. And you got another group of fans that got mad because they feel like they didn't say enough about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's fucking like
you have, if you're in pro wrestling, you have to mention Hulk Hogan. It's Hulk fucking Hogan, regardless of how you feel about him. Like and honestly, when we talk about Hogan, I probably won't say much because y'all might think I'm a horrible because I might say some shit that's very unsavory. But I know we have to have the conversation because regardless of how anyone feels, it's one of the biggest stars in the history of the sport.
Joe and Rich said it really well. How many people that are fans today would not be fans if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan?
It wasn't Hulk Hogan? So many.
Yeah, the wrestling probably would still be as popular, not in the same way, because that gets into the whole territories talk that people just can't fathom for some reason that that you had territories like Memphis. I brought up Memphis on the Discord, that was selling out their arena every fucking week. Like every week they were selling out that thing like 12, 15
before WrestleMania, pal.
Yeah. And that was every week, and that was in Memphis. Memphis was a big territory, but it wasn't like the biggest territory. You had bigger territories that were doing things like Madison Square Garden, and you had wrestling was still a big deal. It wouldn't be maybe not as like mainstream. It may have been, but it still would have been a big deal. But so yeah, you got to talk about him, and that's not why
it wouldn't have been like I don't want to say cool. I don't think cool is the right word. I would say Hollywood, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I think that's. It would still be seen as like the same way NASCAR was seen up until like 2002. Like it'd be like that. It would be like it would still be seen as it's that thing without people realizing how popular it really was. Right? It would be that.
It would be popular without people knowing it's popular.
Right. Yeah. Which I think is the problem when people talk about it, because they don't realize that pre Vince McMahon expansion, wrestling was maybe even more popular.
Yeah.
And so it's just a weird, that's the part of it that annoys me, because I see that type of discussion and I'm just like, why are we still taking, we'll get into it Tuesday, why are we still taking WWE's word on the way that wrestling history fucking, yeah.
That's gonna be a fun conversation.
That'll be like I feel like I'll probably have to, because I was the only one around like during like peak first Hogan run. The rest of you were around
second run
for the second run.
In NWO stuff, that was
which is completely different. I
was around when Hulkamania was lame, and then the NWO stuff came. That's when I was around.
Yeah, like it's hard to explain to people, right? Like type of thing. And I was never the biggest Hulk Hogan fan either, and that's not me being like snarky, because I always liked Ricky the Dragon better. I always liked Savage better. Always liked
these were the better workers. I'm not surprised.
But Jake Roberts isn't an amazing worker. I always liked Jake Roberts better.
Better than Hogan, though. Better than Hogan.
I mean, Hogan was formulaic, which is probably why I didn't like his matches, because I'm not a big formulaic person. So
true.
So
you knew he was gonna Hulk up.
Right, but it worked.
He might bleed before that, but you knew
it worked. And I would, and I'll say this on Tuesday. I think if you really want to see, like, everyone's pretty much seen everything Hogan, so there's not a lot to like recommend to go see. But I would say go find the Andre turn. I think that's still one of like the best things you will ever see in wrestling, and because I think Hogan's great in it, Heenan, of course, is amazing in it. Andre's good in it. But it's really Piper that I think really, because if you watch it, the reaction that Piper has, who I'm pretty sure was, I don't even think he was a tweener yet. I think he was still pretty much a heel. But his reaction, like, what did we just see? Just really sold it as like a big deal. So
we'll get into it on Tuesday.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll talk about that. Not really much else to talk about. I guess we talk about the next AAA show that will be on YouTube.
Oh my god!
It'll be a Borat show. I'm positive it'll be a Borat show. So I have what I will find funny is if that show is better than SummerSlam, and I think it will be, just because Borat is booking it, which I think isn't great for one Paul Levesque. So if people are paying attention.
Oh, Josh, you're gonna make me start saying stuff. I don't. Tune in on Tuesday.
Just throwing it out there. But yeah, we'll be back on Tuesday. But Chase would never let me and Markeem ramble the way
what we did tonight. He'll be all right.
He'll be fine. He'll be like, what do I want to watch? What do I want? What part of this do I want to see? But anyways, I'll see you Tuesday. But I was going to wish you a good trip. But I'll see you Tuesday, and yes, we're out. Go see Fantastic Four. It is excellent. Oh, this was something I saw in the chat, and I was going to probably not even hear anymore after I'm going to answer it. Do you think this was better than The Incredibles?
No.
Yeah, The Incredibles is.
I can't do that.
Like The Incredibles is legitimately like one of the best superhero movies.
Yeah, nah.
Like it's like legitimately.
I can't do that.
It's like legitimately.
It's better than the second one. It's better than the second one.
Yeah, but The Incredibles is legitimately one of the best superhero movies, and that's on one of my that's on like my short list, and my short list is different than a lot of people's because I still have the original Superman movie on my short list, but that's due to my age. But
I mean, that's still a great movie though.
It's to me that's the it's on my short list, but even if you don't put it on your short list, to me that's the bar for great superhero movies is Superman, which is crazy because it's like we said, golden and silver age Superman, and it was a movie made in the 70s. It should not still be as good as it is.
I'm the guy that likes the sequel more though. I'm that guy. Like,
have you ever seen the Donner cut of the sequel?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know if you had or not. I just
come on,
said
man.
you liked the sequel.
Man.
I mean, I like the sequel too because you've got that whole like Lois finds out. You've got that gun scene that people get mad about because they're like, "What if she really shot him?" And I'm like, "What are you?" What
so that's my
so that's but she knew that wasn't going to happen. So it's and the whole thing. But yeah, no, I would if anybody's listening to this, if you ever get a chance, Superman 2 is very good. The Donner cut is better, even though it's spliced together in a way that it doesn't look great. But if you don't know, they were filmed at the same time, and then when they were finishing up Superman 2, Donner and the owners of the studio got in a argument, and so they kicked him off, brought another person on to finish the movie, and so that's why there's a Donner cut, because the movie was pretty much done by the time he but again, a movie made in the 70s, still one of the best superhero movies.
I wouldn't blame anyone, like you said, they still consider it the best.
I mean movie. and part of it is Christopher Reeves without like maybe some of the best casting of any movie ever is that, and he even today he doesn't look like you think Superman, that's what you think of, because you don't think like buffed out Superman, you just think of Christopher Reeve and his underlings.
I really like that new dude though.
He's good. He's good.
I really like him. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it trying to judge like how he was. It felt good. It felt like natural type of thing. So I think that was very good, I thought. So
all right, yeah, let me get up out of here though.
All right.
I'll let y'all.
All right. Have a good night. And we will end in